Welcome to the Coquitlam Whiskey Barrel Podcast with your hosts, Uncle Corey and Uncle Dono.
Recording off some bullshit.
He left his Stanley Cup back on the ice in 1980.
It's embarrassing.
Let's give Corey a round of applause like you were the fucking service staff at a wedding.
Who shot you? Separate the weak from the obsolete.
Oakland Street sits on. Fuck all that bickering beef. I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeat sound like Sasquatch feet. Thundering, shaking the concrete. Heard the shit stop when I foiled the plot. Neighbors called the cops, said they heard mad shots.
I've already started recording.
See you
that
in the
was
top,
20 seconds.
3 1/4, slaughter, electrical tape around your daughter. Old school, new school, need to learn though. I burn, baby, burn like disco inferno. Burn slow like blunts with yayo. I peel more skins than Idaho potatoes. You know, lyrical molesting is taking place. Messing with Big Don, it ain't safe. Now that was 40 seconds those people won't get back.
That's how you start week 11 though.
I'm hot. I didn't realize that my quarterback had been benched. I traded for
Peterman.
I traded my quarterback away. And
stepping away from the catalog. To chuck the rock.
I don't want Stop selling me Jay Peterman.
You know what was great is I was watching the game when they benched Tyrod. And I was watching just as a Kelvin Benjamin owner just to see how he would do in his first game. And
sure.
Happy with the target share and a couple of red zone
targets.
What
did he get, 8 or 9?
Great. Something like, he had 8 catches or something like that.
I thought he had 6 catches for like 9 targets.
But get this though. He had like 2 or 3 with Tyrod. When Jay Peterman comes in on the last 2 drives, all he does is throw it to Kelvin Benjamin, because why wouldn't you?
We've been preaching that for years. Why aren't offensive coordinators listening to us?
So take off the urban sombrero, and it's time to throw the rock to Kelvin Benjamin.
Absolutely. What are the Himalayan walking shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I love it. All right, I don't know why I always wait to open the phones when we get started and actually record the stupid thing.
Well, because the worst thing that would happen is we open the phones and someone calls us, and then we just have to fake talk to them. Like it's.
Oh yeah.
Well, last week we got 2 phone calls right away, and it took up the whole podcast. And Team the King was upset because our podcast had no direction. Like, does he want to be our producer? We'll kick Angela to the curb if he's looking for a second gig.
He might be looking for a second gig. I think Team the King wants to get a little bit more involved with our podcast than he's even letting on. Well, I think that's kind of where
he's gonna have an opportunity next week along with everybody else, but we'll leave that for a little bit later in the podcast.
Absolutely.
As next week's a big one.
Yeah. We
give thanks, we give back, and we're really excited about what's gonna happen next week.
Yeah, It's probably I have a top 3 days to watch football. There's the Super Bowl, obviously. There's American Thanksgiving, and then there's probably conference championships. And as of now, I think American Thanksgiving, because we make it such a big day. And if you're listening to this, you should make it a big day too. We get together, we get food, we get booze, we watch football from 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. We make bets. We do everything. It's just a great day to get together. And if you're interested, if you're listening and you're interested and you want to get involved with us, well, we usually do it at the commissioner's house. I'm assuming we still are next week. This is an invitation. If you want to come and hang out with a couple fantasy gurus on Thursday next week, come get involved. See what this really, see what it's all about. But we have some fun, we make some money, we gamble some money. I dump my whole team for a whole other team, and then we figure that out from there.
That's what's really exciting about it is we've made it trade deadline day, which is fantastic.
Yes, which is why
everybody's there. We can all discuss.
Yeah.
You can make moves live. You can really put it to someone's face what they're doing, why they're not trading you, why they don't want a top 5 wide receiver for some reason when they don't have any. Those kinds of things.
Is that another shot at me? What is the wide?
All I do is take shots.
What is the wide receiver in question? I'm sorry. I'm
just
too
talking
busy
about the number
trying
5.
to pick up quarterbacks because mine has been benched, and I found out 3 minutes ago.
I've been trying to trade a top 5 wide receiver for the whole year, and I can't do it. I just can't do it.
That's what. That's it. I don't even have to look. That's what you're talking about.
If his name was Julio Jones, I'd be able to get a King's
I know,
ransom.
You should see
but he's number 5.
You should see what I offered for Julio Jones. And Hinton just said nothing.
And would you offer that for the number 5 wide receiver?
Probably not.
Because what's Julio? What's Julio right now?
18.
Has he got 1 touchdown this year?
Maybe. If so, I'm not
And
even
a
sure.
bad hip?
I don't know. I shouldn't even be on the screen, but I'm pissed off at the quarterback thing. Maybe I should be more focused, but I still have to. Okay, the phones are open. Everybody other than Nightingale has been included in the phones.
For those of you listening live.
Yeah, if
phones
you're
are
listening
open.
live, yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Well, we should welcome everybody to the Wendy Law Studios in the 11th edition of the Whiskey Barrel Podcast.
And hasn't it felt good? Like, hasn't it felt good now? Like, I'm still apprehensive about why we're still doing this. But,
I disagree. I think you've taken this on more so than you thought you would.
well, I didn't want to take it on. You forced this on me.
I just said let's do this, and you said okay. Let's make the first one 15 minutes. You talked for an hour and a half, and then you're hooked.
It's a platform. I've got a lot of.
I was the gateway drug to your podcast life.
I've got a lot of opinions, and I need people to know that I'm mad about a lot of things. And I'm done opening the phones. I have no idea. I should be more prepared. This is my fault, and I apologize to the listeners, okay? Because you've made it this far, and you still got to listen to me. Where were we? Week 11. It's good. It's good.
We're coming in hot to trade deadline. We're coming in hot to the playoffs. 3 weeks to get your shit straight. Nobody's really out of it yet.
It's crazy. That is the crazy thing. Let's talk about that, because in our league, it's nuts.
Usually
We're all
there's like
4
four
and
people-
5
usually
or
there's
5
four
and
people that
6,
are out right
and
now.
it's just ridiculous. Like, let's look at the standings. I think there's 4 of us that are 6-4. So Brad Friend's 6-4
There's
with
5 of us, 6 and 4.
Amit, the commissioner, that piece of garbage, is 6-4. I'm 6-4. Of course, tied for first place. Why wouldn't I be? And you're 6-4, tied for first place. Why wouldn't you be? And then there's the last one. I didn't even know.
Team the King.
The King, Perry, is tied for 6-4 as well. This is just, it's too tight. It's too close. It's very uncomfortable. I don't know.
I think 7 wins is going to get you in. It looks like.
Have you looked into this? Because I
There's
have.
3 weeks left, right? So we've got a lot of 4 and 6s, a couple 4, 5 and 1s,
Yeah.
and a 3 and 7. So
Yeah.
they need to essentially win out, I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't really dived into like everybody's matchup coming up. Like if 2 of those bottom teams play each other, one of them's going to get knocked out of the playoffs in that matchup.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see it.
And someone's going to separate themselves, and I think this is the week where we really see it.
Yep.
And it's going to be fantastic. One of our special guests this week, Uncle Saul, Papa Saul now,
Papa Saul.
had a big win to keep himself in it. It could have been lights out, and he kept himself into this week. So it's great to see. There's a lot of parity in the league this year, and everybody's thrilled.
Are you saying Papa Saul because you can hear crying? Is there crying outside?
No, you get promoted from uncle to Papa when you have your own kid.
Yeah, but the kid's fucking crying out there. Did you hear that?
That means we're in the studio. I can't hear anything. That's so soundproof. I don't know how you hear
I'm
that.
just so distracted.
That's
Sorry.
the motherly instinct in you.
It is. I've got a maternal instinct. It just it emanates through not only my voice, it's just my brain. I'm just, oh my God, there's a small child crying in the distance. If only I had my Himalayan walking shoes.
A bastard, perhaps.
My back hurts, my head hurts, but my feet remain warm and cozy. Anyways.
Well, just as an aside, I haven't heard, but on the Uncle Papa debate, do we have an update?
No.
We're still on Baby Watch?
We're still on Baby Watch.
Baby Watch 2017?
As of this afternoon, we're still on Baby Watch 2017. Right. Big shout out to Colt Strong.
We're all pulling for you.
We absolutely. And
we're excited.
We absolutely are. We are excited. We're thrilled. I'm personally nervous. I thought I was gonna have to leave work yesterday because I'm like, oh my God, I'm just gonna bounce out. Like if Mouse has this kid, like I'm just gonna leave, and then I'm gonna get why are you leaving? I don't know. I've just known Kurt since he's 3, and it's super. I'm anxious about the whole situation. As long as mom's healthy, as long as baby's healthy, that's all that we really care about.
And as long as the baby doesn't come next Thursday.
Well, That's his problem, not mine.
That's the baby's issue.
I'll leave work.
Like, have some respect.
I'll leave work. I'm not leaving American Thanksgiving.
No.
I mean,
You'll
priorities.
be too drunk. How are you going to get there?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's absolutely for sure. So what else? So week 11, we're excited. Lots of action this week again. That's what we've been doing.
It's interesting to see the waiver wire moves right now, and it's kind of that time where everyone's starting to think about playoffs and how to really line up their team. I mean, it's time to get your handcuffs in.
Yeah.
Who cares about your scrubs? You should know who your starters are going to be.
Yeah.
Bye weeks, I think, are done this week.
You've dropped your Marlon Mack.
I've dropped my Marlon Mack.
I've dropped my Matt Burita.
Yeah.
Our lottery tickets that it's just like, you know what? What are we really doing here,
Yeah,
guys?
so of course I've always had my handcuff to my tight end, which I hate, and I'm not drafting a tight end next year because I don't want to have to handcuff him.
What do you have, Vernon Davis
I have to
and
handcuff Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
And then my number one running back I handcuffed early this morning. Melvin Gordon, I got his handcuff. So,
Oh, yeah. I didn't even put it in a claim for him.
No, I didn't put in a claim for him either because it's ridiculous if anybody actually did.
Yeah.
He's done nothing all year, and people obviously would probably get excited over his big week, but nothing to get excited about. So no claim. I didn't want to lose any sort of positioning, but I knew that this week or next week was the time to start your handcuff.
But
right?
people went ham this week. I jumped from second to last to I'm second on waivers now because I just dropped a bunch of guys and then didn't pick up anything.
I went from like fifth, put in a claim, and went. It had all gone through. I went back up to like 7th or 8th, so I moved down a couple spots. And for picking up a number one running back, which is
Samaje Perine.
Yeah, I dropped a backup for the number one for the rest of the year because Fat Rob's on IR.
But there's no, like, we haven't had this many transactions. Like, people are trying to get it together. They're listening to the podcast. They're trying to make moves. They're adding, they're dropping, they're doing it. While I'm taking a look at this, what do you think about who I just assume, if I just go down a little bit here? Yeah, the number one pickup choice this week, which was obviously the Green Bay running back, Jamal Williams. Speaking of Colt Strong, what do you think about him? You like that?
I don't, because he hasn't been great all year, and Ty Montgomery could play this week, so you're not taking a guarantee. Like, that's why I didn't put in a claim for him. I wanted to have Perine. I wanted a guaranteed number one for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And Jamal Williams, maybe he's the number one this week. Maybe he's the number one for 2 weeks. But going forward, they're going to go back to Ty Montgomery.
Yeah. Okay.
On a team that's terrible. So
that's terrible. That was my thing. I didn't even know Ty Montgomery. I thought he was done.
No.
I saw he's on one of my teams. He's questionable, whereas Aaron Jones is
He had a great week. He's 60, 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, but until the second quarter when he's done.
When he hurt his ribs, of course. But
which is what he does, which is what I said week 1 of this podcast.
Of course.
For all the hardcore listeners, they know I've been anti-Ty Montgomery since we opened the phones. Which, again, I opened and I've heard a lot of talk, but not a lot of volume. But yeah, that was my thing. I think they're terrible. The quarterback is hurt again. They're onto a third-string quarterback. Stack the box against Jamal Williams, or have who's even the quarterback over in Green Bay right now?
Hundley.
No, Hundley's hurt badly.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, who knows? Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
I
don't trust the running game.
I might have picked up Jamal Williams, but I wasn't claiming him. If I had room to pick him up, I might pick him up.
Sure.
And stash, but I'm not
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But I wasn't dropping because I got Fournette. Like, I'm not dropping my backups for that. And
you got to make a decision, or they got to make a decision because you got 2 handcuffs.
And
right?
moreover, I have 2 defenses. I have 2 defenses right now, and it's disgusting.
And no wide receivers.
But I have the Ravens.
Do you want a top 5?
I have the Ravens. Do you want one of my defenses?
You have 4 running backs, so you can't start all of them.
I have 8 running backs. I should have more. I shouldn't even have a quarterback. I'm just dropping him.
You don't have a quarterback.
I don't even.
Jay Peterman.
I don't even have a quarterback.
Is he back from Burma?
I don't know.
You may know it as Myanmar.
Oh, Elaine, the sweet poppy seeds.
Yum yum.
Yeah. It's just
Shanghai Sally.
That is tough. I'm just upset about being behind on that. I didn't like this. And sorry that's where my brain is right now.
That's okay. You should have been making these moves last night, not while we're writing our podcast or recording, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, we got a big episode lined up for you. We've been promised.
Yeah.
The commissioner is going to be here.
Yeah. So I'm going to play a quick game with all the listeners. It's is the commissioner going to show up? I'm saying a hard no.
I'm going Absolutely hard no.
Not a chance. He's said for the last 6 weeks that he's pissed off and he doesn't like what we've been saying. We think he should get a punishment. I think the vote is in.
That's what I'm going to go check on the vote. But I actually got an angry phone call from the commissioner on Saturday night. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, relax.
I got three missed calls from him because he was all hot. What do we got? Okay, so the vote's in.
We've got 7 out of 12 votes. So I believe that is a majority.
Yes, it is.
Yes. A majority of the owners have voted.
Yes.
And the poll in question, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, is should Phaneuf be punished? It reads that he basically was overserved by himself and didn't wake up the following morning to set his lineup, didn't play a full bench, missed like 3 starters, lost by only like 8 or 9 points. Had a very good week for the team that he did start. Should have won and may have changed the standings thus wise. So should the commissioner be punished for his negligence? An overwhelming 71% of the votes came in yes, he should be punished. So again, we'll open up the forums this week going ahead of American Thanksgiving. We'll all come up with a punishment and we can vote on that, or people can throw out some ideas. We're open to advice. And we'll probably execute that punishment on American Thanksgiving.
Sure. I feel like we can do that. We can get together as a team. This is a democracy. I mean,
the people have already spoken. Well, let's let them speak again. It's
not the league that I'm running. I rule with an iron fist. I'm a dictator. But Mike claims to have a democracy, so let's do that. I'm in a couple of leagues where there's a wishy-washy dictator. I've got one guy, and this is the league that I complained about last week, where there was my trade hung in the balance while somebody offered $100 to each player that would veto my trade. He vetoed a trade ahead of my trade, and then just yesterday put a 20-minute time limit on a trade as opposed to the 4-day limit that he had before.
Right. We spoke about. I remember this.
Yeah, it's just wishy-washy bullshit, and that's not the kind of commissioner that I am. I just make the decisions, and I have an answer for them. I have a reason. I just make the moves. You make a trade I like. I don't think it's collusion. It's done. That trade goes through because I know people have better things to do than think about this all day, every day. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's just like, hey, is that trade good? Yeah, that trade's good. Am I going to let the rest of the league say, well, I don't like what his team looks like if he makes that trade? No, I'm sorry. This is the game we're playing. That's a fair trade. This is not collusion. I push that trade through. Well, I don't like his team and I don't like him, so I'm just going to let it roll for 4 days. No, I'm sorry. And then the very next day have the flip-floppy, like, be consistent, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all I'm asking for is consistency. One of the things that we're looking for in fantasy football, in life in general, is what am I expecting you to live like, work like, be like, while me and you have interactions? And unfortunately, some people are just washy. They're just garbage.
It's a reality of society, and I don't know what it's come to these days, and clearly our commissioner's bought into that lifestyle, which neither you nor I agree with. Yeah. But I mean,
it is what it is. So will he show up? Will he answer for his crimes? Will he walk the shame walk? We walked it.
We've been walking it for 11 weeks.
Unfortunately, somebody has to put this league on their shoulders and carry it down the shame walk while people throw lettuce at our faces and yell shame. And unfortunately, just to even be, like, in this climate, in this day and age, like, just the amount of guilty by association, the fact that I have to talk to the commissioner sometimes, it's like people are like, you're buddies with that guy? And I'm like, listen, I'm not the same dude who's, like, corrupt and bullshitty, I'm just me. Yeah. Did I watch him bench 4 guys in a league that he's been in for 10 years that he should know what he's doing? Maybe. And people go, well, will you do that? And I go, no, I won't. They go, well, but you're friends with the commissioner, so maybe that's something that you're capable
by
of.
Association.
Guilty by association. And I don't want that broad brush to be stroked all over my face. Not today, at least.
Nobody's stroking on your face.
There's
no stroking on your face.
Or especially with broad brushes. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Speaking of the shame walk, I didn't know that was a body double. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. I just assumed she's still making it happen.
I know, but I gotta go back and watch it because that was I feel like I wasn't impressed. Mm-hmm. And if I had some input, if I was gonna have a body double, I mean, I'm chiseled out of granite as is.
Of course,
if
absolutely.
Someone was gonna try to top what I'm working with, like, I think there should be something a little bit more impressive.
No, it has to be similar. Like, you can't just be like, oh,
no, but
what are we talking about right now? Sorry, I don't even want to go down this. I think the woman in question.
We're talking about getting stroked on your face.
Yeah, well, and then you went to body doubles.
We were talking about the shame walk.
The shame walk is a body double. Both women probably have beautiful bodies. I'm happy with all of them. Let's just leave that there. And we have our first caller.
All
right, here we go.
This one's on you. I'm going to let you run this segment and step aside because
all right.
this is where we stand.
Thank you for calling. You're live on the Coquitlam Whiskey Barrel podcast. Hold on. Sorry. Our producer gets a little sketchy sometimes.
Our producer, a.k.a. your fat fingers.
Shut up. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're live. How are you?
Live.
Yeah, do you want people to know... go ahead. You have the floor.
I have the floor. First of all, have you ever seen Making a Murderer?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Isn't it, though? Like, I'm held to my feet. I could barely pull myself away.
How many episodes are you... Okay, I like... Just derail it right off the hop. We appreciate that.
Time machine going back 2 years.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been listening. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. How many episodes are you deep now of Making a Murderer? I can talk about that.
I think I'm on the sixth. I think I'm on the sixth episode.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's getting good, isn't it?
It's the greatest thing of all time.
Why have I not done this before now?
It's like when people tell me that they haven't watched Game of Thrones. They're like, "Oh, I'm starting Game of Thrones this week." I'm like, I'm so jealous. I'm just so jealous that I haven't had that much viewing ahead of me that I'm so excited about. Like, you're so lucky that you're only 6 episodes into Making a Murderer, because it's just, it's the best. And for all the people listening, if you like Making a Murderer, you'll really like The Jinx on HBO as well, or Serial Podcast Season 1. Anyway,
I'm taking notes right now.
Okay, good. Continue to take notes. We
find that most of our listeners and our followers take notes on our podcast.
Yeah,
we're not surprised.
Constantly taking notes.
They do appreciate our fantasy advice.
So, all right. So for the casual listener who has no idea who this is, stumbling into this podcast while talking about Making a Murderer, I've referenced multiple leagues on this podcast.
Yeah, I've heard you reference me as the worst or something. Just pond scum is what you call me, something like that.
You should have heard what I said about you 5 minutes ago when I thought you weren't going to call in.
Can only imagine.
So maybe you can give some insight to the listeners about what it's like on the other side of me. Like, you have to deal with me.
You're very combative in nature.
That's not
a surprise to anybody listening.
No. Your fiance is a saint.
Of course.
For putting up with you. But do you use the term fiance? I hate that term.
It's so uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I am also
a fiance. You're also a fiance, you slick fuck.
I know, and I don't know. I've skipped the level and I go right to wife, or I insult her and I call her my girlfriend.
You can never go wrong with calling her your lady.
Yeah, I just said a lady, a hard lady. I mean, she said, "Oh, it's my lady. Oh, I was in there with my lady. My lady's here."
My lady.
Yeah, you never had. Yeah, and tip of the hat, always. So anyways, listen, you talked a big game. You said you were going to come on. You were going to let the listeners know all the terrible person I am. So go ahead, bud. Floor's yours. You want to rant?
No. I'm not in a ranting mood. I'm not that type of guy. You know, it's usually drawn out of me. I'm a more reserved individual, and I don't feel that I need to be boisterous in my presentation of the way that I present myself. You know, my arguments, they tend to speak for themselves.
Yeah. Okay. So so then let me call you out. You ready?
Sure.
He wants to be drawn out, so draw him out.
Okay, I'm going to draw you out. My trade held in the balance last week for 4 fucking days while Judd offered money to every single person to veto my trade. In the meantime, In the meantime, another trade was processed and pushed through by the league manager while my trade still held in the balance. While you could find that a little bit shitty for maybe a week, how about yesterday a trade went through and you allowed it to go for 20 fucking minutes? And then you said, well, I've got 20 minutes. So how do you have the balls to push through a trade after 20 fucking minutes after mine sat there for 4 fucking days? And you know the reason is only because you don't want my team to win and you want me to fucking be upset. And then the 20 fucking minutes it happens, you push that through because you don't give a shit. Like, the inconsistency is driving me fucking crazy. So you shouldn't have called unless you were ready to bring it.
First of all,
Please.
in regards to your trade specifically,
Yes.
there were some people that were feeling bad for Judd. Obviously, you traded.
I
away
never
him,
feel
and then-
bad for
and then the
Judd.
next
Fuck
day-
Judd.
And then the next day, Deshaun Watson got injured. Correct.
Yes,
And,
there was a next day,
well,
though.
Well, yeah, that's right. And in our league, it's a standard 48-hour veto process, which is routinely pushed through if both parties are agreeing to it, and there are no veto votes. Correct. And now, after your trade was completed, both parties were no longer wishing that trade would be pushed through. Correct. And it had a number of vetoes, so I let it go out the standard 48-hour review period, and then 4 days is pushing it. You're exaggerating a little bit. On the third day, it processes.
So 1 day exaggeration versus the 20 minutes that was yesterday, correct?
Yes, but
Okay.
At the request of both the people from both parties, immediately requested that the trade be pushed through. And so I put it to, instead of a 48-hour, I group message, which you hate and despise and will not respond for the life of you.
Because I'm not on iPhone, so they all come up as individual fucking messages. So while you guys all have your nice, neat little, oh hey, guess what? We're all here in our little fucking bubble of fucking Steve Jobs' dick. I am on an Android, so I get 11 missed fucking messages from, 100 missed messages from 11 people that I don't understand. It's just ha 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 or brr 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 or hey die die die. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then if I ever respond to any of that bullshit, all of a sudden it's like, oh Don, you're like 3 hours too late. While you guys are just sitting around in a circle jerk, fucking ugh. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I hate group messages.
So full of rage.
It's not rage. It's passion. It's passion.
So full of rage.
It's passion.
No.
So before you continue your bullshit, let me just tell you right now. You know what the problem is when you say both parties want something? You know what both parties can do? Collude. It's the number one reason that you shouldn't have trades or vetoes and shit like that. It's the only reason a trade shouldn't be allowed.
I beg to differ. I believe that's the only reason you should have a veto process.
Collusion?
To prevent collusion.
No, but you say the reason you have the veto process is because, oh well, if two people agree to it, yeah, well, it takes two people to collude. That's the problem.
Yeah, and then it's upon the league.
Exactly. So if you're
whether that is.
So the consistency
valid
again
trade
is my
or not.
problem. You have 3 days versus 20 minutes and you just say, oh, okay, well, they're obviously not colluding because they both agree to it. But it takes both people to agree to collusion versus I don't like that guy's team, so I'm going to deny that. That's collusion from the league. And I think that takes...
But that's where that's where your group message comes in and everybody is able to voice their opinions. I give you a time limit. I'm not going to take all day if both guys are wanting to agree.
You took 3 days with mine. You didn't even give a chance.
And because it had 3 veto votes, and you guys both didn't agree to the vote.
I agreed to it.
trade.
But the collusion would have been while you watched, while he offered money, coke, and hookers to every other member of the team for vetoing.
I want to
you're
interject.
pushing
I
the
just want to
limits there.
interject.
Nobody.
I'm
First
going
of
to
all,
interject.
nobody
Just,
accepted.
I'm going to interject just quickly. You say it takes two people to
48
agree
hours.
on the trade. When an offer is
That's right, yeah.
extended and then the offer is accepted, that means both people
right.
agree on the trade.
Well, not to agree on the trade. Obviously, the agreement on the trade is an agreement, but to push it through is another thing. Because a push through it results immediately, whereas after in a standard trade, there's a 48-hour review period, and then the trade is pushed through.
But
the trade is ratified the next day.
Right, but what you're saying is you'll push a trade through if both parties agree to the trade. And it sounds
both
like
parties agree to it being pushed
every
through,
trade, both parties agree, because someone offers and that person has to click accept.
Yeah.
There's a difference. If a trade happens on a Wednesday and say a guy wants to play a guy on a Thursday night, then he doesn't agree to it being pushed through immediately.
Okay.
Because he still wants to get that last play out of a certain player.
Well,
correct?
I understand that,
That's
but then you don't
not-
make that trade till Friday.
All right.
Well, that's why we call it Trade Tuesday.
Right. No, I understand that.
Well, and Trade Tuesday had happened. And had I not gotten my trade through, I would have picked up Tyrod Taylor and threw up 40 points that week. That was my other beef, is that I would have made other arrangements.
Tyrod just got benched, didn't he?
Yeah, listen to the podcast.
Check the
Don't worry.
catalog.
I just figured that out because I'm starting him in the league. It's a whole goddamn thing.
I started him last week.
All right.
Still won. I managed to win, but
Anyways, Pun, listen, I got 3 other people waiting to get on here.
it's a live mic tonight. Eh?
Yeah, buddy. We
it's
appreciate the
hot.
phone call. Donald's been talking
The
mad
live is
shit,
mic-
and we
the
appreciate
mic is
you.
live.
Okay.
We appreciate you coming on and backing your stuff up and answering the tough questions, because we asked the
Yeah,
tough
that's
questions
true. We're playing tonight the game of will our commissioner show up in our league, and we're getting a hard vote of no, it's not going to happen. But the commissioner of another one of my leagues called in to try to put me in place, so I don't
Are you
mind
the
that.
commissioner of any of these
3
18
leagues.
You're
3
apparently-
leagues. And none of the people
Um,
complain because I'm just and I'm
do
honest.
any of them contain your family members, or
What? Well, that's one of 3. Yeah, family members. I'm trying to make fantasy a global thing, so I try to extend it. Anyways,
do they let you slide by with all your
here we go.
unpaid dues, or is that just like in our league?
I you know what? Those are questions that aren't going to be answered live on the podcast. Okay? How about that?
Thank you for calling in. We
Pun,
appreciate it. We appreciate
Why
you.
can I not propose the tough questions? Huh? Why am I answering
That's our
questions
job.
that
You leave that to the professionals, the gurus.
Pun, I love you. I hope to listen to the podcast. I hope to see you next Thursday. Okay?
I cannot wait to beat you this week, buddy.
I'm gonna. Are we playing?
Cannot
Are we
wait
playing?
to rain down. The beast of the east must feast, and we will see.
You're gonna die. Goodbye. That was great.
Matter of fact, you should take 4B.
I like that he called in, though. I appreciate that a lot. That he called in and just said, fuck it. Okay, I'll call in, answer for my crimes. And were his answers valid? Absolutely not. But did he? Yes. So, let that be a fucking message to the rest of you that have issues with things that we say here. Call in, let's talk about it. Come in, let's talk about it. I don't give a fuck, but let's talk about it.
That's well. First of all, that was this week, and Donald drops it like it's hot. It's hot.
Did
Who
I
knew he
get
was gonna
hot?
you got very hot.
Did I?
Who knew he was gonna do it on a guest? But that's what it is.
Well, I gotta back it up. I talk shit but I'm a man of, if I'm gonna say it behind your back, I gotta say it to your face.
And guess what? I fucking back it up.
I fucking back it up, because I will let you know that I think you're bullshit. I won't just sneakily, no, I'll put it on the internet, and then when you call, I'll let you know about all the bullshit you've been doing too.
Which is the way it should be. We've got a couple guests waiting for you guys in the green room. We're gonna go get them mic'd up. We're gonna refresh our beverages.
Yeah, Angela,
You're up. We will be right back. You won't even note. It's that we were even left and got new beers. But we've got exciting news for you.
Absolutely.
Big fan of the show. Long-time caller, long-time listener, first-time visitor is now live with us in studio. Angela's got them all mic'd up. So welcome assistant to the GM of Team the Prius.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely where he said.
Wow.
Mr. Brad Friend is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Thrilled to have him.
Yeah.
Thrilled to have
I'm
him.
thrilled
When
to
the
be
North
here.
called, he answered the call.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled to be
absolutely.
here.
You know, there's some people that heard last week that we were upset that people weren't showing up, and we kept telling them it's always Wednesday night. Like, guys, like, get it together. And Brad said, fuck it. I'm in. Let's do it. So Brad's going to talk about trades. So he had called in a few weeks back. If you're a long-time listener, you'll know that Brad was a little bit hot with some of the garbage, quote-unquote, trades he had been getting offered.
You bet.
And he's sitting right here. And so now what I'd like to do, unless you have any objections, Brad,
With the pending trade deadline coming up next week.
exactly. We've got 1 week for these trades, so let's make moves. So, Brad.
Is next week Thanksgiving?
Yes,
It
next
is next Thursday.
You better not
Oh, yeah.
be working.
Well,
Oh,
nothing I
God.
can do about that.
His-
All right, fair enough.
His
The-
GM will be working. The assistant to the GM has to work,
The
right?
tires do not sell themselves. certainly.
Okay, so let's take a look at your team.
Except for the Nokian WRG3's all-weather tire, they tend to sell themselves in the lower mainland.
Wow.
Shout out to those guys.
Shout out.
Whatever
Hashtag,
they're doing a great
hey,
job.
Brad, there's
Yeah.
like 50 people who listen to this podcast. Would you like to go ahead and say where you work?
Get
and
your
maybe-
tires changed
No.
to Cal Tire. That's
No.
it. That's
No.
the end
I
of it.
would not like to say
Okay,
that.
fine.
Thank you.
Let's
No.
leave it alone. But if you need tires, contact Brad Friend directly. Maybe he'll be able to help you.
That's right.
Is that fair?
Of course.
That's fair. Okay.
Yes.
So here we go, Brad. So you got the number 1 quarterback. That's from me for Doug Martin. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping me move Doug Martin to get Leonard Fournette.
My pleasure.
Okay, so you got Jarrett McKinnon. Corey has been dooming your team since it basically started with this Zeke Elliott stuff.
Okay.
He thinks that you're going to fall off a cliff because of Zeke Elliott. I think he's being a little bit short-sighted because your team has like 200 more points than every other team. So
Well, my issue-
170 or so, but
First of all, Zeke has pulled back has withdrawn his appeal, so he's
He
out
has.
for 6 weeks.
yeah.
which is great, which is what he should have done probably a few weeks ago. Just
Which is what we had thought he was going to do when we made that trade. The plan was he's back for week 13, gets a regular season game in fantasy football.
Yeah.
And then we've got him for 3 weeks to the playoffs.
It's a risk reward. I believe you gave
Yes.
up Chris Thompson and Mark Ingram.
Roger that.
I
Yeah.
believe
Wow.
they're both top 10s.
Wow.
Uh,
That's expensive now that we look back. Hindsight being what it is.
Yeah, hindsight.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And thankfully, right now, as it stands, the Deshaun Watson injury hasn't hurt DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen. We'll see. Hopefully, he can continue that trend for
He's
you.
the number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah,
Yes.
did you see the numbers he was putting up?
Yeah, but you were-
Ridiculous.
you were-
Like comeback player of the
Yeah,
year.
but you were mad at last week. We talked about this that he got 19 targets,
6 for 19 or whatever it was.
and then
Ridiculous,
even
right?
last week it was 14 targets and he caught 9 of them.
Yeah.
Like they keep throwing him the ball 12 plus times. Doesn't matter production. And he's talented.
Although I did hear that Scott Tolzien, it might be taking the ball this
Okay,
week, so we'll see.
see, it's all doom and gloom. I don't know what you
I-
did to
I tell
Corey
it like
Sayers,
it
but
is.
you fucking hurt him.
Tell it like it
In
is.
like a previous life, it's just brutal. I'm like, hey, this guy's got more points than everybody, and listen. I'd gladly shit on your team, like I would, but I mean,
Here's a great
facts
question.
are facts.
Here's a great question. It's
No,
trending
we're talking-
towards.
I know-
Let's just
Sorry,
finish
please,
this off.
go ahead.
Talking on the most points for. We're trending towards you guys finishing most points for in the league. Now we all know that if you pay your dues on time, you're rewarded with $100.
which they didn't.
Yes. Yes, we
No,
did.
they did.
I just made that up.
Now my
Yeah.
question to you. Now my question to you is: one of you paid the dues because of the bet you guys made.
Yes.
Who paid the dues again?
I paid the dues.
You paid the dues. Now,
Yes.
should you win most points for, is your co-GM entitled to half
that's
of
a
those
great
dollars,
question.
or do you get your league dues back?
We haven't had that discussion, but no, he's entitled to half the dollars.
How often do you and your co-GM have discussions?
On a weekly basis.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
there's
think
some-
if you
there's
want to be
something
successful,
discuss.
you have to.
No,
Yeah.
I understand if you want to be successful. What I don't get is like
On major
he's
decisions.
still 86 Ron Rigo.
Yeah.
Rigo hasn't been involved with the league in 3 fucking years.
I picked up Rod Smith this week. I didn't get the okay to go ahead and do that. I just did that.
Right.
And, okay, so
So
then-
who did you draw?
I don't remember.
so here-
Exactly.
no, but here's the question then.
Yes.
How long until he notices? How involved is he?
He's involved.
Because
Yeah.
on our side of the ball, I never hear from him. I
don't
see
know
him.
if he listens to the podcast.
I don't know the last time I got a text from him that said, hey, I'm kind of interested in this guy. What do you think? I know me and you can have a conversation. Me and you can make deals, but I'm not sure of what he's doing.
I come up with the ideas and then I run them by him, and I don't do anything without getting the okay from him. Mm-hmm. Anything of major,
because it's fair. That's get it. But he still cares.
Oh yeah,
because it's tough. It's tough to see former champions as a team.
And one's kind of phoned in.
And one's kind of phoned. I mean,
he hasn't phoned in.
Because you clearly haven't phoned in. You're a regular caller and you're here.
Yes.
I mean, and you were on time at the draft, ready to go, trying to weirdly, creepily high-five Mike's daughters, which we're...
I love kids.
That's not what we're about on the podcast.
Children?
In a polite...
They're the future. Ask Whitney Houston. If she was still alive.
It was Michael Jackson.
No. I believe that children are the future.
Isn't that Mike?
No, that's Whitney Houston.
He's saying black or white. It's
if Bobby Brown was here right now, he'd punch you in the mouth.
They're all dead.
I beat old Bobby Brown's ass. Is he alive?
No, they're all dead.
Bobby Brown's alive.
Yeah, punch that guy out.
The one that shouldn't be still walking the
Yeah, isn't that fucked?
Right?
As our Belle Biv DeVoe.
Well, now you're dating yourself.
Yeah.
3/5 of New Edition. Anyhow.
Belle Biv and DeVoe.
I'm sure the seniors who listen to this.
Okay, so Brad,
Yes.
Mr. Trade Guy, let the entire league know. Okay, hold on. Somebody I just got a message to the Ashley Sayers inbox. It's wide open. You got nothing but space in it.
For the record,
if you're still
Donovan
on,
doesn't want to talk about the kids, but his screensaver on his telephone is a small child.
That's my nephew.
That's fine.
Did you got the same message into the inbox as I did from the commissioner, trying to back out?
Yes, it is from the commissioner trying to back out.
So he's trying to back out. So all of you who voted no, he won't show up. Classic, he won't show up. Well, we knew that was coming. We're wondering if he's going to show up next Thursday to his own house.
Yeah, he'll have to work.
If he's there, he's going to burn something. We know that. So it might be better off that he just leaves the vicinity. Okay.
Pun's mad. He said that felt too rushed, like a dirty rub and tug. He's upset how you rushed him off the... You know what? Have some better content next time.
We got people waiting in the green room.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. What are you looking for, Brad? If it was fucking Christ.
Where do you stand? What do you think about your team? You've had some damage done. Can you survive the damage? Where do you look at going forward? You've got 2 kickers, which is great. You always got to make sure you have 2.
There's just nobody worth picking up that I saw.
No.
Really paid attention to.
Yeah, as you can see, sometimes you have to pull behind the curtain of what we do here.
Yeah.
See, I always have lined up of what's available, what's that. Because as much bullshit as that we have during this stupid podcast, is we do have Julius Thomas.
I believe he was brought up on last week's podcast by a certain individual sitting between the two of us, saying he was the future, and he's clearly back on the waiver wire.
Did I say that?
What about Eddie Lacy? I got sold.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Let me respond to that. Sure. I believe all I said was he had a great week the previous week. There's a lot of guys out there with shitty tight ends. Why wouldn't somebody take a flyer on him? I didn't say he's a be-all and end-all.
So after one poor week, you're willing to keep 2 kickers instead of your golden boy flyer. I mean, when you called me, I could hear your erection through the phone on Julius Thomas. Whoa. So I'm just curious as to why you clearly listened back to the podcast.
Do me a favor when you got the stats on. Bring up the league leaders in points for tight ends last week.
There's none. Tight ends all suck.
Last week?
Last week, yeah.
Tight ends are all the worst.
They're the worst.
That's what I'm saying. So why wouldn't somebody have taken a flyer on Julius Thomas?
I'm just saying you kept 2 kickers. You kept another kicker over.
It's not like I'm going to be...
Your 1 week flyer.
Okay.
You panicked after 1 week of a bad week.
There's
if you really believed
I didn't panic. I brought him
on
because...
last week.
You dropped him.
I only picked him up last week because our guy was on a bye.
But you'd think... So you'd rather have a kicker over him is what my argument is.
Are you talking about Julius Thomas?
Yeah.
For last week?
Yeah.
Well, there's clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
No, he's 15.
15,
15
whatever.
16.
So we're 10-team league. That's really not...
Yeah, but if you take away the outliers at the top...
I'm just looking at all the other guys you could
Garrett
have picked up
Selleck
instead.
is not an outlier at the
Jermaine
top.
Gresham, there's a guy who...
Yeah, but Gresham, if you want to talk about Gresham, I think he's getting more looks. He's getting a little bit more action.
I don't.
Would you pick him up over a second kicker, Don? What would you rather have, 2 kickers or
Second
an
tight
actual
end?
player? Because we're getting rid of kickers next year, so there won't be this argument. But I'm just curious.
My point last week was just why wouldn't somebody take a flyer on him with all the
I
teams that
don't
have
know.
shitty tight ends?
I agree with you. I
After
don't
the
know
week they
why
had the week
Sayers hates you as much.
Because a
as-
flyer isn't a 1 week, one and done. Your guys are going to have bad weeks. Number 1 players, Antonio Brown's going to have a bad week.
We've
He
been
did.
ranting
He did.
back and forth. I thought we were talking trade talk, and this is with what we were looking for.
Team
so,
the King's going to get upset. We've gone off schedule.
No, it's not about going off. It's not about going off schedule. It's just about that's what we were going to talk about, right?
He's here. We want to talk about his team. Where do you stand? Where do you guys?
What do
think
you
you're
feel?
lying?
What do you need? You want to trade? Listen, everybody listens. It's clear. There's no bullshit here, other than Patterson. I don't know that Patterson listens or not.
I don't know why anybody listens, but they all
But I
do.
don't know that Patterson doesn't.
Actually, does physically listen.
That's what I'm saying. So what are you looking for?
The only thing I'm looking for
is a stronger number 1 running back, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And what are you willing? Okay, so name 6 running. Let's go.
I'm not going to name 6 running backs.
Okay, so what?
I don't think you
Off the top
can
of my
name
head.
6 running backs.
Okay, then don't.
That aren't on your team.
That aren't on my what?
I don't. Oh, fucking Christ! See, any chance he gets, I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Okay, it's like Kareem Hunt, Lev Bell, Melvin Gordon.
Well, it's obviously
Okay,
it's got.
we'll say a top 8 running back. Okay, comfortable with that?
I'd say a top 12 running back. We're willing to give up Elliott, possibly, depending on who it is.
You're going to
Elliott?
trade Elliott for a top 12 running back?
Depending on who it is.
You're not going to get that.
But why would you get? Oh, for a keeper value?
Exactly.
Oh.
Everyone's still in
So there's
playoff
only
potential.
Hinton.
Well, that's
There's
our-
Hinton and Brad.
He's a game and a half back. He's not out of it.
Who?
Hinton? There's 3 weeks
No,
left.
what I'm
He's
saying
a
is
game
that
back.
I looked at Brad Patterson's team, for example, and he's got a couple good players. He's got Ingram, who's doing really well. For
He's
example.
got problem with
But
him
he-
is he's got David Johnson.
But
to
he's
keep
got
next year.
Johnson and he's got OBJ on the, and so you can't trade with him for keepers because he
Right.
doesn't give a shit. So you're hoping
He could trade his keepers to try to make the playoffs.
so you're super comfortable with your starters. You don't give a fuck, and you're just ready to go.
Except for running backs, yes.
So the only running back that you'll trade is Ezekiel Elliott, who won't play for the rest of the year.
Oh, if somebody's interested in... The problem is if I trade McKinnon or...
Who's the number 1
Darko.
running back? Do you have that lined up? I asked you to have that lined up earlier.
I'll pull this up right now. But what I'm saying is, you
Who's
don't
the
need
number-
to trade a running back. You need to trade DeAndre Hopkins or Antonio Brown.
What
But,
I'm
but
at-
then who am I filling? Who am I putting in that position?
That's what I'm asking. So who is the top? Can I comfortably say I value a top 5 running back higher than I do any other position? Period. There's no
I
other
think
position
everybody-
I think
everybody
is
across the
more
board does.
scarce than a top 5 running back in fantasy.
Okay, here we go. Gurley, Zeke's out. Gurley, Hunt, Bell, Gordon, Ingram, Fournette.
Okay, so let's just go Let's go the top 6. So
Gurley, Hunt, Bell, Gordon,
okay, so
Ingram.
Todd Gurley is the number 1 running back. Do you want him?
Well, obviously.
Okay, so great. So what are you going to give for Todd Gurley?
It's Antonio Brown or DeAndre Hopkins plus.
Right, so why would I do that? I know I'm getting a good player, a great player in return,
okay.
but then I'm going to weaken other positions on my team. I'm looking to strengthen the one spot I
So
need to
would you
strengthen.
rather go lower down, like a 6 to 12?
Exactly.
Is that, okay,
Yes.
so
So like
what
a-
are you packaging? What are you going 1-for-1 with?
Like, you just trade Zeke Elliott for like a Ingram and a Chris Thompson or something.
Now I would, yeah. Well, you're laughing, but when we made that trade, he was supposed to sit out 6 games at that point in time.
It's the risk everyone played when they draft
And
from
it's
draft
already
day till now.
and it's also got you to first place with
Yeah.
200 plus points. Don't let Sayers shit on you. Don't let it get to you. All right? He's just sitting there. He's just fucking troll sometimes. Okay, so
Sometimes, eh?
You want like a Christian McCaffrey. You want a Jordan Howard. Like Hinton's the guy you want to go at. Go for
I've
Jordan
talked to
Howard.
Hinton. You should see. I'll full disclosure. I offered Hinton, Kareem Hunt, and Leonard Fournette for Jordan Howard, Christian McCaffrey, and Julio Jones. I just said, "Fuck it. Here you go."
He needs to expand though. He doesn't need to consolidate.
He's hard to make a trade with that guy.
Because he said, "Oh, I'm open for anything." I said, "You see anything on my team that you this?" I'll just be honest. Like this is private, but I'll say it. I said, "Hey, anything on? It looks like you might not make the playoffs. Anything on my team that you're looking at making a trade for keeper?" And he said, "Oh, Shady, Hunt, or Fournette. No problem. And I said, great. I go, well, the trade you just made with Nightingale, with McCaffrey and Julio, I'll give you either any of those guys for one of them. For the two. Like Fournette for Julio and McCaffrey. I said, but if you really want to just figure it out, I'll give you any of those two for the three you have. Howard, McCaffrey, and Julio.
His only value in doing that would be to try to flip one of those for a wide receiver because he can't keep two running backs.
Yeah, whatever. That's up to him. I don't know. But it was just, hey, I'll cripple myself giving two of these guys away for the three. And
you just made this deal. I'll make it back to you.
Yeah, and he just said, and he gave me nothing back. Which is what...
Sounds like Hinton.
Yeah, which is the problem that you're discovering, right? And that's what we're looking for. So... You want a starting running back. What are you willing to offer for the top 10? That's all I want to know.
Anything that starts with RB or is on my bench.
On your bench. Okay, so...
It's basically nothing because you're not going to trade any of your running backs they're not on this list, so you can't upgrade. And anything on your bench...
Well, somebody's just looking for a keeper in Elliott, essentially. Somebody that thinks...
But at this time, there's still nobody really looking for a keeper.
No, but we got a week to go. After another week, that's going to...
Might change.
Start to sort itself out.
It could change, or it could get even worse.
It could, and if that's the case, I'm okay going into the playoffs with what we got. If we can upgrade at running back, then great. We can't upgrade at receiver. We can't upgrade at quarterback. We can't really upgrade at tight end. There's a couple guys, your Kelce's and your Gronks, but what do we have to give up to get one of those guys, right? It's not worth it.
Where are you at quarterback wise?
They have number one.
I know. I understand that. So
you want it back?
Yeah. So I'll trade your Rex Burkhead for Matt Ryan.
Hey, for Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Carson Wentz.
No.
I was about to slap you in the face.
And I would take that. No problem.
A New England running back is...
I know, it's tough. I totally get that, but I'm in...
What's his bucket that everybody was all hot and bothered with after game 2 of the season?
Deion Lewis?
Oh, no, Mike Gillislee. He's a healthy scratch now.
Beautiful players. Had a few touchdowns.
I'm just saying. Am
I... Like, what... He had a touchdown this past week, right? What is he...
Here. Okay, sir.
What is he
I'm
done
not
the last
selling him high. 4.3, 8.8 off 11.8.
Yeah, he's doing nothing that our other running backs aren't doing.
You just have a bench quarterback that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you for Carson Wentz, who
I
bought for a guy who was benched. You're welcome.
He wasn't benched at the time.
No, I know.
He had a couple of good games.
Yeah, it's fine. I have Leonard Fournette because of him. But I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. See, I don't mind.
Well, that's where we're at. Let's go. We're just killing time here. Let's go back to the matchups.
Decisions like that.
We're just gonna go back through them and what
Brad, talk about the matchups.
Well, we talked about it off air quickly because the league kind of we thought there was going to be some separation this week, and some of the
that's what I was
teams
too.
with lower records actually put up some points and won the week. So everyone stayed in it again. Which is great to see, which we want to see, and we want to figure out what's going on. So our big discussion...
Do we want to see that, though?
Yeah, of course. Of course you want to see that.
If a team's shitty, do you want there to be parity in the league if there's huge discrepancies on points for?
You want the league to grow. You don't want it to get worse. And from what we've seen from all our listeners listening to the podcast and taking our advice,
coming down
they've grown.
No.
We're talking about growing as a league. We don't want these teams that are going to finish the year 2-11. Like, we don't want that to happen. We want people to draft well. We want people to be smart at the waiver wire. And that didn't happen until this year, it seems. So our big question, and me and Brad were talking about this off air, Don, full disclosure, but one team out of the 4, 5, and 1s, one team that has that tie is going to make the playoffs and one isn't. Mm-hmm. And who's it going to be? Is it Team the French or is it Team the Bounty Hunters?
Bounty Hunters.
Let's click on their rosters here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we'll just do a quick box score.
It's the Bounty Hunters.
We'll do a quick We'll do a quick box score because the French pulled out a big win that they needed to have win this week.
Doesn't matter.
Devontae Freeman's doubtful. That hurts him.
So he's down to one running back. Look,
he's got Tevin Coleman.
His flex is Jack Doyle.
Well, he's got Alshon, two number one wide receivers on.
Yeah, he has some ball.
And you're saying what you're implying is that Paul's team is better than.
I'm not implying anything. I haven't even looked at.
If Cam Newton gets back to MVP form for the last few games of the
Yeah, but
the
he's
year.
going to lose. He doesn't have Cam Newton, so he doesn't have the Panthers DST. He doesn't have
What do you mean?
this week. So it's another
Oh, he's
loss.
on a bye. My bad. Yeah, you're right.
Did he pick up some quarterback yet?
Probably not.
Oh, you know who you could use? Matty Ice.
I know. I offer. Listen,
Sounds
here's one of the things that I do as a fantasy football player. Sometimes I just go, okay, your team's not going to make the playoffs. I'll have that player die on your roster while you don't make the playoffs. I never have to run into them. Is the same thing that it's, oh, you have 5 quarterbacks? Great. Nobody trades you for them? Great. Let them sit on your bench, and you can just keep Matt Ryan on your bench, for example.
You know, looking at
I'm not asking for anything.
looking at what's his buckets roster there, Nightingales.
Lev Bell, Todd Gurley, Des Bryant, Aguilar, Cam Brate, Morris.
I mean, it's not
Alex Smith, the number 4 quarterback. Like
and dropping,
oh,
right?
so who scares
It's
you?
okay, he's playing the Giants this
So
week.
Tevin
Yeah,
is okay. So let's look at the matchup. So Lev Bell, Todd Gurley, Alfred Morris versus Tevin Coleman.
Who's left on their schedules?
Tevin Coleman and Alex Collins
and Elijah McGuire.
Who's left on their schedules?
Who gives a shit?
Well, that has a lot to do with it.
No,
Who you
it
play.
doesn't.
Well,
Look at
obviously it does.
Oh, you mean? Sorry, I apologize. You mean like
Who's
schedules
Nightingale
for?
playing?
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Sorry, I thought you
yes.
meant.
It'll be interesting if they play each other.
Yes, it would be. They don't
Well,
know
they've
'cause they're
tied.
in the same
No,
division.
but we go to 13 weeks and there's 12 teams. So did they?
But you only play
You play
two
one team
games
twice.
against
You play two teams twice.
and it's guys in the other division.
Is it?
Yeah. Which doesn't make sense to me, but
Well, that's
Oh,
our
you have
shitty
an issue
commissioner.
with the commissioner,
Yeah.
do you?
I'm
all
just
do.
saying.
We all do, but if he was here to back himself up, he could answer the tough questions. But clearly, he's not.
Where the shit is his schedules? Anyways,
Scoreboard.
Okay, so
Coming up this coming week, they're both playing.
If we were
let's
lucky-
do a little projection here. Team the French is playing Team Littlehands.
Yeah, let's do this.
Projections are at what's ESPN got us at? 103 to Team the French to 92 to Team.
Are the rosters set though? Is the question.
We can't rely on the commissioner to set
Yet
his
to
roster.
play, yet to
so.
play. No, we clearly can't, and
Okay.
we've had a vote against it too.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And then what do we have? Team
Bounty Hunters against
Bounty
the
Hunters
Reindeers.
against the Reindeers.
Depends on how old.
So it looks like they should both get wins because the commissioner's team is fucking dog shit, and the Reindeers. Well, we'll get the reindeer in here and we'll see
figure out
how he
what's
feels
going on.
about it.
Let's check week 12.
Yeah.
I'm just going off gut, and you said Team the Bounty Hunters is going to make
Bounty
it in.
Hunters.
I would
I
think
think
he's
Bounty
right.
Hunters is going to make it in.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got Big Daddy in week.
Because I'm a player. Game recognizes.
Oh,
game.
here we go. They both play the Reindeer in the next 2 weeks.
Well, there you go. This is
Sul-
make or break for
Sully-
the Reindeer.
So
Yeah.
Sully needs it.
Yeah, Sully needs it too. What about week 13? What's going on there?
Oh, and then it's been damn. We like that.
Week 13?
No, yeah, yeah.
I got the Danimal in week 13. We're pretty excited for that.
No, it's classic. Me and Don play each other in week 13. It works itself out so that
It always
it doesn't
does.
matter who wins. We'll play each other in round 1.
Yeah.
Don wins, and then we
Yeah.
just carry on with our day.
Yeah.
It's been the same story for 4 years.
Yeah.
It'll continue.
I would
The
think
script's been written
It's been
in
brutal.
stone.
It's been brutal. That Sayers is number 1. I knock him out, and then I win. And I've done that 2 out of the last 3 years.
The championship game is always played in week 1 of
Yeah,
the playoffs.
well, especially what's
No, embarrassing. Just
Well,
embarrassing.
who's embarrassed?
You
I'm
should
not. Why?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Interesting that you would say that.
That's a strange thing to say.
Well,
We're running low on beers here. We're going to take a quick pause. We'll be right back before you even note just that we were even gone, and we're back at it, and new beers, and we're ready to go. So we're going to finish up with Brad Friend here.
there's no new beers. Stop lying to the listener. I appreciate you trying to defend the fact that I spilled my drink, but there's just fucking ice on the ground.
It's the magic of radio, bud.
It's not radio, it's podcast.
It's not. It's the magic of YouTube videos.
Is it even that? I'm not even sure how we
I
dispense
got sent
this.
so many links today on how to make it a podcast, and I can't read
Because people
any of
want
it.
to download. They want to download.
Well, then
They
come
don't want-
show me how to do it, because I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. I'm lazy.
I
I've
sent
never
you the link, and you said I'm not reading that. It's too
I
long.
said no reading for me. I'm tired.
Did you say I'm not reading it or I cannot read that?
Well, it wasn't
I
a picture.
can read,
it
but I
was.
said I will not.
It wasn't a picture
I
book.
choose
It wasn't a
not to.
coloring book.
I
it wasn't
choose
anything.
not to read.
All right, here we're going to go check out the quick standings. Brad, we're going to finish this off on the projected playoff bracket.
So you're done trading? Is that what you're saying?
I never at any point said that.
Well, I wanted some interest. I wanted to talk about trades with you.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what you were... You want a number one running back, but you're not willing to deal any of your wide receivers other than anybody on your bench. Is that
He wants to trade his bad running backs for a better running back.
No, I didn't say that either. You guys like to put words in
Okay,
people's
then
mouths
please
here.
be...
I believe
more
I
clarity.
said I would like to upgrade my running back. Not willing to give away any of our great players to do it, except for Ezekiel Elliott, who somebody can use as a keeper next year.
I don't want keepers. We on the...
There might not be keepers next
On
year.
the Whiskey Barrel podcast, do we play for next year, Sarah?
No, we play for keeps, I believe.
We play to win this year, so that's one thing.
So team number 12, team the Galladay Inn, you say you will trade Zeke for Tariq Cohen?
I did not say
Matt
that.
Forte.
No.
He's not trading Christian McCaffrey or Jordan Howard because he still needs to win. So that
As of today, if he
that
loses
avenue's
next week
dead.
and the
That
teams
avenue's
above him
dead.
win, then
well, we play for keeps, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see how things shake out.
Okay, how about this? Let's dance.
Let's dance.
Okay, you're all paying attention. So I'll give you... Okay, who do you value... Give me your values for your Hopkins and Brown, because I don't...
Brown.
Brown's your number one?
Yes.
Okay, so Hopkins number two. So Darkwa and Hopkins... McKinnon and Hopkins, I'll give you Fournette. And Martavis Bryant.
He didn't even play last week. Or
Yeah,
the
he
week
did.
before.
He got
the
6
week, sorry,
points.
the week before.
Yeah, I know, because he got benched.
Yeah.
Now he's back.
No.
Okay, so then Fournette and Golden Tate.
For whom?
McKinnon and Hopkins.
Send it to me and...
Yeah, I'm just
We'll have a
saying.
look.
Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that response.
Well, I'm not just going to, without even thinking about it for more than 3 seconds, be like, yeah,
I'm
sure,
not
that
saying
sounds
we
great,
do it
bud.
this second.
Well, send it off and let me have a look-see.
I tell you what, here we go. One more. I'll give you Leonard Fournette for Antonio Brown. And Martavis Bryant.
Send it to me. I also, again, have a...
Gotta speak to the boss.
Gotta speak to my
Got it.
co-owner.
Got it. I just want to take a look before I actually prove that. I want to see what Antonio Brown's actually been doing. 13-8-4. Don't know if I love that.
All right, Bradley. Here it is. As the playoffs stand, the number 1 seed, of course, yourself, team the Prius, number 2, 86
Can you give him
Rodrigo.
credit right now?
Sure,
While he's
yeah.
here for 5 seconds?
I'm jaded because I blew everybody out of the water.
I know
last
you're
year, and
so
then I
mad
like
last
So
year.
I'm-
I get it. I
you
understand
can't
that.
rest on having the best team.
No, you
That's
can't.
what it is.
It
Anybody
sucks.
can win. The number 8 seed won the championship last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus on his side, keep in mind.
Well, you guys won and you were terrible. So that's
Were we?
different.
We had the best team in the league that
You
year.
drafted a kicker in the 6th round. Team
What?
the Prius.
Who was that kicker
86 Rodrigo.
Steven Gostowski.
Steven G.
A team guy you bet on this year, and what is
Sorry,
he,
say
number
that
10?
again.
Team the Prius is number 1.
Yeah.
Team 86 Rodrigo number 2. Team Littlehands number 3. King and his men 4. Batman's Chalupas 5. Colt Strong 6. Reindeers 7. Bounty Hunters 8. Of those guys, are they all making the playoffs or is somebody out?
I would think they're all making the playoffs.
Reindeers is the only one that's on the edge.
On the edge for you, okay.
Yeah.
And who is in? We've got team number 9, the French. 10, Big Daddy. 11, Team Danimal. 12,
Would be the
Galladay.
French or Danimal.
French or Danimal is
Yeah.
in. Bradley?
And probably the French.
Yeah,
I don't
I think we're
understand-
all in agreement with that. I mean, Galladay and the chances of him making are slim. Big Daddy.
He's only a game and a half back.
Here's a call to action. Brad, are you listening to this podcast? Because I'd really like that you would.
When we play for keeps, he plays for next
What are
year.
you yelling at me for?
Not you, Patterson.
Oh, Patterson.
Are you
I'm sitting
listening?
right next to you
here.
here,
I'm in the
buddy.
mood.
He's got the number 6 and the number 10 running back. He's got 2 running back 1s. He's got a QB1. I don't care
Kicker's
about everybody
5.
else.
His defense is 5.
I don't care about that. But
He
his
got-
tight end is a 14, so he's almost a tight end 1.
He got hurt with David Johnson, obviously.
And OBJ. Or no, he picked up OBJ.
Yeah.
So he got hurt with David Johnson,
A
which
tight end
happens, but he didn't
14, that's the
recover.
same as a tight end 28.
And a tight end 6, so it's
Yeah,
it's
you're
all
right.
the same.
There's like 3 or 4
Yeah.
good tight ends, and then
Which
there's
is why
the
I
rest
just
of
traded for Travis Kelce. You're welcome. I just said you're welcome to me.
So we believe that Team Big Daddy's playing for next year.
That's a message. I don't know if people could hear.
Well, okay, we've been trying to end the segment here, but we'll end it right now. Inside the Ashley Sayers inbox, we always like to get in there and muck it up and see what's going on.
It's a
And
question
here we are.
of whether or not he should still come. Do we extend it? Are people ready for an hour and 45-minute podcast?
They may be, they may not be. Even though he's at the end, people won't even listen that far, so
Don't-
it doesn't really matter what he
That's
says.
true. And
Don't shit on him for not being here, then not let him come still when he's
That's
when he's
true.
there.
We've been talking a lot of shit.
super fair.
Yeah.
Super
We've been
fair.
talking a lot of shit.
Okay, so this is where we're at. I'm going to say, please, come by, and we'll put them on. And anybody who has listened this long, they fucking deserve it anyway.
Absolutely. Brad, thanks for coming on. You're
Yeah,
very,
thanks for having me.
if you're available, you don't have anywhere to be, you're more than welcome to stay for another segment. We're
We're going to get the big guy in here.
And if not, thanks for coming. You can enjoy all the frivolities we have in the green room, and Angela will get you sorted out.
I appreciate
Moreover-
the offer, gentlemen. I am going to have a couple of wings before I hit the street, but
Cool.
there's tires
And,
to be sold tomorrow.
tires to be
Time-
sold. And before
Time for bed.
Before you pause it, I want to be on record. I'm impressed with your team. I'm impressed what you've done all year. I appreciate the trades you've made. I appreciate the phone-ins that you've had. As much shit as Sayers gives you on this thing, because we pick and choose on who we give shit to. It's not a verbal thing.
I choose everyone.
Yeah, you do everyone. I only have like a couple people. I think you're doing great. Proud of you this year.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
This is how we were even gone, and we're back again, and we've got a new guest with us.
Wow.
Slide in here. We're getting him mic'd up.
You're in
Hello,
the middle.
hello,
You're
hello.
always in the middle.
It's very rare that we have one guest on the show, let alone two. So
I
we're
know.
pleased to welcome him.
Well, it was a call to action last week, wasn't it? Here's the thing. Last week we talked a lot of shit. We said, hey, everybody wants to be on and nobody wants to. And some people have delivered.
You know, our ears work. We can hear. We hear the cries.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'd like to welcome to the Whiskey Barrel podcast the GM, the only GM of his team.
Yeah.
The GM of the Oakland Reindeers, Papa Sol.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the end.
We're over here grinding out wins. You
Like-
know? 1 week at a time.
Like-
1 week at a time.
Like a true guest,
Absolutely.
he brought some Fireball whiskey for the Whiskey Barrel
Oh,
podcast.
that's way better than what Friend didn't do or even
seems
thought
to be
about.
a theme.
You mean his one beer that he showed up with, holding it by the neck?
Yeah, I know. Did you supply him with more?
It wasn't even cold.
It wasn't.
Guy drinks warm beer.
That's
It's
crazy.
Freaks me out.
I did give him another beer when he
Which is great.
when he called our producer to ask if he could come on the show and try to have a booking. Sorry, my apologies. He
Well, you put it in front of the fucking mic. You think that it's not going to stop something?
he
Sounds pretty elusive.
requested from the producer. He asked if beers would be provided to him.
Oh.
Well, but
So not only did he not show up with
You
anything,
are a bit of a
he didn't
connect
show up
there.
with any
Thank you.
booze.
Yeah. I figured you were a
people
plug,
expect that it's me and you running
See
the
the
podcast.
Sapporo wagon parked outside.
That's the Dragon Wagon.
There's going to be booze
Yeah.
provided, which we do. Is there food and booze out
No,
there?
yeah,
Sal?
the green room is stocked to the gills.
Yes,
There's
thank you. That's
Food, booze, and women.
There's
What more
women,
do
there's
we need?
food, and it's real.
Yeah.
All the listeners out there, there is a green room, and it is fully stocked.
Thank you.
Whatever you like. I'm a Marshawn Lynch fan. There was Skittles out there. They were waiting for me by the handful.
Angela knows how to treat people. Wendy Law knows how to treat people,
You know?
and that's what we do. We keep it real here on the podcast, and we make it happen. But we're usually presented with something. We put a lot out there. So, Saul, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yes.
And we're
Amen,
gonna do
brothers.
a quick
Saul
little shot
brought
of the old
a little
whiskey.
Fireball whiskey.
Whiskey
We
Barrel
appreciate
Podcast.
that. Now,
So much better chilled.
Yeah, I
Now,
don't even
Saul-
like this stuff, but I love drinking it.
So, now let's talk about your team here.
Yeah.
What do you got going on? What are you feeling good about? What are you feeling negative about? Where are you?
Well, I'm feeling good about very little, and I'm just kind of, like I said, it's week to week here with old Team Saul.
Yeah.
We're just grinding it out. I've had a lot of trouble at the old running back position there.
Sure.
My number one tight end, he went out early.
Yeah.
That was a big hit. He's been down for several weeks.
He's
Hopefully
supposed
he's coming
to be back
soon.
next week.
Yeah. Tried to make a little play with you there. Didn't notice you actually somehow snake the number one tight end of the league. He just happened to be on your team the moment I offered you a trade, making me look like a complete moron. But at the end of the day, I made one trade this season. I fired off a lot of offers,
which we were so excited about here on the Whiskey Barrel podcast.
I heard lots of good things. I got a couple offers that were real chin rubbers.
Yeah,
I was close to pulling the trigger, but
sure,
the one I made I think was the right one for the time. I got myself a number one running back. I like a couple of my wide receivers in there.
Sure.
Old Phillip Rivers at the helm, though. He's a scary guy to be chucking the ball. He's under concussion protocol right now.
He's hurt right now.
You don't like that, but at the same time, I don't really want to put Derek Carr in there. Playing
Old
Nightingale this week.
It's
a big week.
He's playing one of the worst defenses in the league, though.
We let you
and it's hard to say that. It's hard to say that New England is one of the worst teams in the league in any aspect. That doesn't roll off your tongue often. And I know you're not a guy who's going to like repeating that.
No. I hear you. I hear you. Our defense, as a New England fan, it's our defense that's going to need to... If we're going to try to repeat, we're going to need to make sure that our defense shores up. But Hightower's out. Gilmore's not doing what we want to do. Butler's doing what he wants, but it's not... Our defense needs to step up. So, you want to ice somebody, it's going to be New England. But the problem is that... Oh, shit, I'm going to get way too deep into New England. So
it happens.
Let's get away from it.
But at the same time, just to cut you off, sorry to cut you off there.
No.
If I had told you at the beginning of the season, Amari Cooper was going to be completely outshined by Michael Crabtree, that's... You might have argued that, you might not. But it's like me telling you that the New England defense is going to be just a
dumpster
block
fire
of Swiss cheese.
Yes.
You don't hear that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe that.
But
this is the type of year where it's just you can't write this shit.
The difference between those two players is Crabtree's probably going to get like 30 to 40 yards and like a touchdown, whereas from Cooper you hope for like 100 yards and you're probably not going to get a touchdown.
Bust, right?
But they're a different kind of player. Like Crabtree's more of an end zone target, and
I
Cooper,
thought he was
Cooper's
mediocre
more
at best.
We, on week 1 of the podcast, you can listen back to me saying Sully drafted Amari Cooper, and in round 4, he drafted the unsexy Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree. And he didn't need to draft Amari Cooper because Crabtree was going to have a better year. And I said that, and that's just true.
Yeah, I panicked a little bit there with that first pick this year. I'm not going to lie. It came up quick, and it went by even quicker.
Oh, I like that he's lining up another round of shots.
He's not messing around.
Okay, so what do you need? What are you doing? Here, I love when we have actual people listening to the podcast that are in the league. So... What do you need? What are you looking for? What are you trying to get?
He's doing okay at wide receiver with Crabtree, Sanders, and Sanu. Sanu's coming on hot, and Sanders is having a quietly good
healthy.
year. And he's healthy.
Sanders is healthy, so I think that
he did just come back from a little bit of a
blip
in the
I know, but he's
there,
healthy and he's getting targets. They're trying to figure it out.
He's getting the workload over there in Denver. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Which is a little surprising, to be honest.
Okay, so what do you need? What's going to get you there? What's going to get you to the playoffs, so?
Greg Olsen coming back is going to be a huge help for me. Honestly, I'm really not a big fan of
Has Witten really been that bad? He's number 8.
He was saying in the last podcast I heard, though, the tight ends this year just been
disgusting.
Horrendous.
The worst I've ever seen.
Almost a pointless position.
The worst I've ever seen.
It's
Other
ridiculous.
Than the top 5, I
got a guy in the top 10 who's putting up 6 points.
Honestly,
what's the point?
In a league, I've dropped a top 9 tight end because it's just like whatever.
I can't get excited about that.
No, you never can. You're absolutely right there, but. Okay, so you got Whitman.
But at the same time, I can't drop him. The next best guy
Olsen,
is
you can't.
17th in the league of 12 man. Like, where the fuck are all these tight ends sitting, boys?
Yeah. Okay, so
someone's sitting on a pile of tight ends, and I can't see it. But
now you got an empty bench spot here.
That was a bit of a play for this week here on Thursday. I was getting excited for the waiver wire. Nothing really caught my eye. So
sure.
Thursday, I might just make up a quick little pick.
All right, nothing wrong with that.
There's still lots out there. There's lots of good options to have.
You gentlemen are well aware that this league has become just a bunch of diversity, and everyone's paying attention. Everybody seems to know what's going on, so you can't just pop to the bench and grab that, or to the waiver wire, and grab that guy who's getting 12 points consistently.
You have to roll the dice that projection of 3.5 turns out to be 12, and you never know.
And then a couple teams that just unfortunately happen to crumble this year under the pressure of injuries and things along
Green
that
Bay,
line,
for
and it's
example.
like they're going to go stack their bench. And
Oakland, for
example, our commissioner right off the beginning of the year, he scrambled and he picked up every player worth a grain of salt.
Yeah, he dumped his whole team.
So the waiver wire was just it was a desert.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't want anyone off of Mike's team.
What you want to
Why
have
would
happen
you?
when you're
Why would
scouring the waiver
I
wire.
wanted one guy, and he wasn't giving them up. But,
When you're scouring the waiver wire, what you want to have is you go to Adam and then you go to click who you're going to drop and really think about it.
100%.
If you really have to think about it, that's what you want to have on your team. You don't want to go, I can't wait to get rid of this guy off my bench.
Yeah, like I caught chirps from you guys for picking up. It was a kicker at defense on the waiver wire.
Well, I just don't believe kickers should be involved.
I dumped Moncrief, and he's still sitting.
He's still.
I could go get him again if I wanted to.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, that's your argument, that you've dumped some shit that nobody's going to pick up
Exactly.
anyways. Okay, that's...
Like, I got burners on my bench that I don't...
That's
Sure,
fair.
the best thing, like, the waiver wire is so crazy this year that...
Yeah.
You could wait all day. I could sit at number 1 for 8 weeks
Yeah.
and still not like anybody. So what's the point?
That's the point.
Get what your team needs. Get yourself in the game. Win the week. Go on.
Yeah,
The league's so close. I can't be thinking about the playoffs week 2.
That's what we preach to everybody. You play to win now and figure the rest out
but
later.
you
I've been listening, boys.
But you have to play now. Like, Derek Carr needs to be starting over your Phillip Rivers here.
Yeah,
That's
I've been
look at
struggling
that.
with that one.
Like, it's against my team. 31st versus the 5th.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, historically, and that's where
Doesn't
where
matter.
I beat myself over the head. You said it many weeks in, many weeks out.
Yeah.
The name of the player
Yeah.
doesn't matter as much as what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe that I am more concerned about Buffalo's defense than New England.
I'm
Yeah.
rolling Carr.
I'm scared.
I'm rolling Carr. I'm rolling Crabtree. I'm rolling Cooper this week. No problem.
Fresh off a bye, right?
Fresh off a bye against one of the
They're
worst
rested
pass
up.
defenses in the league.
And,
Moreover-
and with concussion protocol and Phillip Rivers, I probably should
Yeah.
have made that switch already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And moreover, like, and to
It's
talk
not
about
one
my,
you need to be surprised
and to
about
talk-
seeing Sunday morning.
Sure.
Just
And to talk about my team, like my actual NFL team, we are fine getting into shootouts this year, which I don't like at all. But it's fine.
He loves the garbage time.
We don't mind getting into 35, 37, 42 points, which is like, whatever. You're going to put up 25? Great. We're going to put up 32. You're going to put up 32? Great. We'll put up 42. Like, we will just, our offense will try to match your offense, and our defense is just allowing those points right now. So, if you're going to do those, like, versus Buffalo, Buffalo's trying to do shutdown. I know they got roasted by New Orleans last week, but that's, with Drew Brees, that's not even with Drew Brees, sorry. That's 5 rushing touchdowns, including one with Drew Brees. So that's not passing. So that's Buffalo is not doing what they showed last week. It's what they're showing.
Do you know New Orleans? 24 straight plays in a row were running plays against Buffalo.
Yeah,
back to
24.
back, eh?
24 in a row. That's fucking unheard of.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That never happens.
That's too
and that's
many.
how bad Buffalo's defense was.
Yeah, it was just working. So why change, right?
Yeah.
When you get up to that point and the game script works that way, and you know that Buffalo has to throw and New Orleans can only run the ball because they're just killing the clock, and you can't stop them, and you know they're going to run the ball, that's embarrassing by a defense.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. There it is. It's like playing Madden.
I had
it's
to
like
drop
playing
one.
Madden against your friend who keeps running the same play. And
Yeah.
you can't stop him.
Back like Madden.
So you want to break your controller, but he's laughing his ass
Oh
off.
god, like Madden. What was it? Like Madden 2012 or Madden? One of those ones. You always wanted to be Michael Vick because you'd literally drop back and run for 50 yards.
You're in the shotgun, you just go left, and
Yeah.
you're in the end zone.
That's all.
I never played
And
Madden.
your buddies
Same
just
my
yelling,
life.
"Stop
I
me!"
don't know.
And you can't.
Yeah. Back to the old
It's
Tecmo Bowl when you
embarrassing.
weren't allowed to be Bo Sanders because you just ran through everybody. It's the
All
same
right,
story.
so everybody in the league is listening.
We all want to know.
What do you need? What are you willing to get
He
for
needs
it?
running back.
Yeah. Well, obviously, another number 1 running back wouldn't be a sour to my team. But
Okay.
at the same time, it's like, what can I afford to trade?
Okay, so
It's a scary thing. I need real, pretty much parallel offers. Like, I need somebody to give me some hole fillers, and I'll give them some hole fillers.
All right,
like
so
an exchange of equal players.
Here we go.
So here we go. I'll give you Kelvin Benjamin.
All right. Oh, is this your actual team?
Yeah,
Because what I just did with Brad was my actual
sure.
team.
My actual team. I'll give you Kelvin Benjamin, who's the number 1 in Buffalo.
Is this your team here?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you Kelvin Benjamin. I'll give you. Okay, so who I'm after is Crabtree and Greg Olsen.
Of course.
Crabtree and Greg Olsen. So I'll give you.
And you got Witten, so that's fine.
I'll give you Kelvin Benjamin. I will give you Amir Abdullah, and I'll give you You don't need a tight end back, do you?
No.
Okay, so I'll give
Not
you
really.
Kelvin
I
Benjamin,
mean, I don't like
Kelvin Benjamin, Amir Abdullah, and Dion Lewis for Crabtree and Olsen.
Whoa, that's from name standpoint. I don't hate that. What's going on here? Sorry, now I've just clicked in.
Yeah, I need numbers.
So you're gonna do Benjamin,
Abdullah,
and what?
Lewis
And Lewis,
for
Crabtree,
and Olsen.
and Olsen.
Because Olsen's a maybe. So you're just
don't
hunting
hate
for
that.
Crabtree.
I don't hate that on your
No, it's
side
not a
of it.
bad trade.
Especially considering he's already got Reed, and he's ignoring the fact that he has Reed. He's not bringing that up.
I think because he just said something about me needing another tight end in return. He doesn't give a shit about Reed.
Yeah, he's got Vernon
Reed
Davis
was
too.
about to come
He's
my
got
way.
backups.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You send it over.
I'll take a look.
I'll take
I
a
don't
look.
hate
That's
that.
where we're at right
That's
now.
how you make a
I don't
trade.
hate that.
You know?
I don't hate that. I think that's fair.
No, there's nothing.
I
wrong
think it's
with it.
fair both ways. I think you need running back.
Crabtree's a
help.
hell of a receiver. That loads you up in that spot, and I get a lot more diversity.
That was
the thing with old Nightingale's big trade there. You guys commented.
I've
on
got
this.
Mike
He really
Ev-
went into the diversity.
Yeah,
thing.
I know.
I've
went
got
from-
Mike Evans and I've got the number 5 wide receiver in Larry Fitz, so I don't really need Crabtree, but
Yeah.
I do need to take a
Can
flyer on the tight end.
Ashley's box just close every once in a while?
It's a wide box.
Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, how many fucking things I have.
Do we have
to
a message in here?
Yeah.
Last
What's
one was-
going on? What are you doing in there?
Who's that?
Sorry.
He's in the green room. Let him
Regarding
sit. Let him sit. We
Ashley's
might not have enough
box.
time.
Like, we're swimming in this.
He's a
stuff.
really small person. You might be able to just grab him in here.
No,
We
that's
can
it
if
for
you
him.
want.
No, we're not.
If you want to
No,
defend him.
No, it's
I don't
It's
wanna
gonna
defend-
get hot.
I just kinda wanna-
Anybody who's listened this long, oh wow.
You know, like if
It
you had
looks
the
like-
chance to watch Jesus get crucified,
Yeah.
you could tell that story to your grandkids. I
It
kind of want to
look-
be there for
It
it.
looks like. So you can pop in.
Yeah,
here.
I might just not.
Oh,
leave.
we're gonna hang out with you.
Okay,
So
let's
we're
finish
gonna-
up with Saul.
So we're gonna finish up with the last thing, the same thing that we did with Brad Friend, and we're gonna ask you the same hard-hitting question, and that is who's in and who's out.
Yeah, I like that question.
Because
So basically, we're just talking who's out here.
we had some differing opinions. Okay, here's the top 8. We ran them down.
Well, Brad's
before.
been counting me out since day one, apparently. I found out over there in the green room where you... There isn't 2 green rooms here at the Wendy Law Studios, so the competition kind of has to share space.
You have to look at each other.
And, you know, Brad's ugly mug was starting to, you know...
We like to create controversy before you bring
it
me
was
into
good.
the studios.
Yeah.
Put the pit bulls beside each other.
Yeah, we were
and
we were
one
growling.
piece of steak.
All right,
Only the
so
big dogs
here's
gonna
where
eat.
we're at. Again, we'll run them down. Team the Prius, number 1. 86 Rodrigo, number 2. Team Littlehands, number 3. The King and his Men, number 4. Batman's Chalupas, 5. Colt Strong, 6. Reindeers, yourself, number 7. And Bounty Hunters, 8. Are there any of those 8 teams that are not going to make the playoffs?
At the end of the day, obviously, like, I'm not going to skirt the fact. I'm teetering at this point. I just earned that
You're still a
playoff
game
spot.
in, though. You're still half a game in.
No, I'm in, but there's a couple of half wins out there floating around that kind of make it awkward when you're talking about this sort of thing. It's definitely going to come down to the wire. I don't see any of those names there jumping off the list like they don't deserve to be there.
Okay, well, let's go down to the bottom 4. Team the French, Team Big Daddy, Team Danimal, Team Galladay, and do any of those 4 are any of those 4 going to make
Well,
it?
I've had Brad's spot for about a day now, so I think he's obviously got a chance to battle back. Paul has been putting up some big points lately, so I'm not counting him out by any means, especially with, like I said, that half win there.
Yeah.
I think they're the
what I
two.
said.
I think they're the two.
Okay, we want answers. Who's in? Who's out?
I think. What's Paul's win streak right now? Can we look at that? How
They're
many-
both him and Team
Sorry.
I think
Bounty Hunters
Brad's
are
on a-
4, 5, and 1.
Brad's on a losing streak, and Paul's on a winning streak, if I'm not mistaken.
Just go to
Yeah, hold on.
standings.
Standings. Yeah, you can see it right there. Like it'll be like win
It
5.
doesn't matter. If I could see anything, I would say it says right at the top.
We're asking hard hitting questions,
I love it.
so
Okay,
and
so-
we're gonna figure it out.
So he is
Go to standings.
Just go to standings.
here. He's 4
4, 5, and 1.
I
What's
just
the
want to see there
standings?
how many, like how he's
Fuck,
been
I-
doing recently.
I know. I thought it put it there. My bad.
It's like when you see a guy scored a whole bunch of points, but he had like a 40-point week back in
It's
week
like when
2.
you look at
French.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing looking at that
when
guy?
you look at Team Batman's Chalupas and he's somehow tied for first place with only 860
I had to
points.
commend the man on a hell of a fucking trade schedule
Okay,
he's
team
been making.
Thanks,
Team the
buddy.
French
I didn't
is
like the team he
Team the
drafted.
French is only on a 1 winner. Bounty Hunters has lost 3 in a row, so he's come way back down to earth.
Yeah, but he's gotten smoked. Look at his.
Yeah.
versus look at mine.
Like you have the easiest schedule.
He's
Yeah,
gotten
we
four
know,
And
we
the
know
fast-
Prius,
this.
the Prius up there.
And
like, come on.
and Team Big Daddy's on a 3-game losing streak. So your only guy who's trending the right way is Team the French. So you believe that the French is going to take off? Who's it going to be? So we want answers.
I don't know. This current information fill in my brain there. I'm
Or
going
do
to
you
say
keep the top 8 the same?
I'm saying it's staying pretty much exactly right where it is. The only man that I see that has a chance there, just based on me taking his spot so short ago, I think it's Brad Patterson there.
Okay, but if you're worried about your spot, then what? How do we make your team better?
I just
how we
told
get
you.
you?
I'm
we
trying to.
talked about this.
How do we get you?
The tight end needs to come back to health.
So
there.
Greg
I need
Olsen,
Greg
so-
Olsen back in the helm.
Okay, so
I think he was my 3rd overall draft pick,
So-
4th overall draft pick.
okay,
He's
so-
a big part of my team.
Okay, so here's the question: are you fielding offers for Greg Olsen right now?
Oh, I have been all year. I've
Okay,
offered many people.
So what
him.
do you want?
I just made the offer.
I got a good
Oh,
offer
you
on
got.
the table
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm not going to
Hold
put
on.
the league out
I've
here.
been cut off
No.
because these guys are making deals that I'm barely paying attention to during the podcast, which is all good. I
Hey,
like
I
that.
said I got to review the numbers in real life. So
Yeah, okay,
we'll
great.
wait till that comes
Let's
around.
make moves. Let's do things. I'll take Greg Olsen if you don't want him anymore.
I offered you a trade and you laughed at it.
I sometimes do laugh at trades.
But
But I make more trades than anybody. That's the funny thing. I laugh at some and then make more than
I'm just going to
everybody
throw
else.
this out to the league there and all the listeners.
Please.
I offered this man, Marshawn Lynch, in a trade for the first time in 8 years,
Yes.
and it was turned down.
Quickly.
You had the
quickly.
chance to make history there, Uncle Don.
so is that
He has played for no one else in his
I
entire
just
career
want Calvin Johnson
of fantasy
involved
football.
in that trade, and then so
Yeah,
could
let's
really
get
make
Megatron back. Larry Fitzgerald has to come into play. as
Oh,
well.
that's your boy. He's
Any year he's not on my team, he is in the top 10 wide receivers.
he's the number 5 this year.
So, honestly,
exactly.
me and Sayers sit here for fucking 2 hours a week, and it's been ridiculous while we just bullshit and drink. And he's been offering me Larry
Oh,
Fitzgerald.
I heard through
The number
entire time.
if we just
And every
offered
week
straight
you
numbers,
get a little closer to
But
fucking
he's
taking
never-
it. You get a little closer to taking it.
He's never offered it on the podcast. He's never talked to me about it. He's never said, "Hey, listen, I'm looking for
I
this guy.
offer
What
to
do
you
think?"
every day.
And then he says to me 3 days later, he goes, "Hey, why didn't you accept my Larry Fitzgerald trade?" And I go, "Larry Fitzgerald, like his quarterback's getting hurt, everything's going
Doesn't
sideways."
matter, number
He goes,
5.
"Why aren't you looking at what I'm offering you?" And I'm like, "We sit together. It's not till we leave, and then I get this notification. Hey, guess what? Corey Sayers is offering." I'm like, we were together talking fantasy for 3 hours yesterday.
Well, I think you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there with that. Like, going back to you bringing up names and how
Sure.
maybe I should have dropped Amari Cooper, but I kept him based on his name. Maybe you're thinking the same way.
He's a name
based
guy,
on him
not
being
me.
Larry Fitzgerald.
I'm not a name guy. I just I
So you don't want him because historically he's been very questionable.
Yeah, very.
But at the end
Especially
of the day,
end of the season, yeah.
At the end of the day, if you considered him as the Amari Cooper and you had played him by his name, you would have a top 5 wide receiver sitting on your
I
team now
say to Dono
for far less than
Okay,
the
okay,
price.
I say to Dono every week, do you want the number 12 wide receiver? Do you want the number 10 wide receiver? This week, do you want the number 5 wide receiver? Don't even bring up his name. And he still says no. So the dream's dead. So it's over.
Hold
you
on.
can't trade with Don unless you let him fleece you, and that's it.
Oh, I've known
That's
that
the
for
end of it.
years.
Of course, we have the whole
I
league
just got
has-
roasted by 60 points of what I traded last week.
I know your team.
It's
I
bound to
just-
happen, the amount of fucking players you trade.
I know. Okay, so now let's just pause there before you keep going.
So no, final thoughts from So. Are you able to stick
he
around
might
for another
stick around.
segment?
I don't know.
100%.
Awesome. We're gonna have So
I'd rather
for
not
for
go
another-
anywhere.
We're gonna have So around for another segment. Final thoughts. You're excited about the league. He said Parody's fantastic this year. We're happy. We're looking forward to Thursday.
Yeah, wouldn't change
Anything
a thing.
else?
Wouldn't change a thing. Just send me all of the players that are very good on your team that you would not like to have anymore, and I'll give you anyone off my bench for him.
There it is. And we're going to bring it back real quick because we're going to go out on
Saul,
Saul's
go
gift
ahead.
on the Whiskey Barrel podcast.
All right.
End it right here.
Over the lips and through the gums, watch out stomach, here she comes.
Fuck it, let's just go.
Well, we're back. Of course I'm pressing play. Don't ask.
Is he on?
As Angela's got us hooked up. No need to worry.
He who cannot
You
be
know,
named.
hold on, Saul. If you could do me a favor, just relax for a second. I just want to give a quick shout out. Angela has always been great to us. Sayers, no?
Well, she dresses up the green room like a goddamn saint.
She gets the brown M&Ms and the bright green Skittles to every single person who's all uppity about what they want when they come here. They're like, oh, well,
There's a lot of divas that we bring onto the
I
show,
want
and I'm sick and tired
I want
of it.
this color of Skittles, and it's like, the fuck? Who gives a shit?
We've got one of the-
Skittles. How often are you ordering Skittles, you stupid fuck? Why don't you just walk out into traffic and get run over, you stupid piece of shit?
We've got one of the biggest divas coming on in a bit. He's waiting in the green room now, and I can't wait to hear the shit he talks about. The gabagool, the booze, and the women we had waiting
gabagool
for
too.
him.
The people that say that they don't like gabagool. Hey, if you don't like smoke cured meats, I'm not happy about that.
It's one of the most erotic of all the salted cured
of
meats.
course. So when you're just plowing and making it happen, you want to know that there's some prosciutto just behind your back. You know what I mean?
Gabagool is like a
That's Uncle Saul.
saute pan full of stuff. I don't know.
No, you're dead wrong. We found out and wrong.
Yeah, we figured it out.
You gotta go to know, right?
Anyway, we're back off break. We're coming in hot.
Arrow, let's come
And
in on.
and as hot as we
And
do like to
he's
come
hot.
in,
I just saw him take a pull.
don't you worry about it, because it's been almost 7 weeks.
I know. Almost 7?
Yes, and it's time, Don.
It's 11 weeks now.
It's time for the update. He's been gone.
I know.
He hasn't been running those smooth routes in a long time,
It's
Don.
been suspect. It is.
He's been out for 7 weeks.
Stafford's been having a great year, but
He's been out for 7 weeks. I
Did
don't
you
need
talk
to
about
tell
your
you.
bench there? Still with
2 catches, Don. 64 yards. Six and a
might
half
be dead.
points. He's out on the waiver wire.
no, he might be dead.
Pick him up. We know it's your favorite segment. That's
do
the
really
smooth
like
routes
it.
of Kenny
I do
G.
like it. I like it.
Making it happen.
Okay, great. Way to make a stupid fucking sideways option about Kenny Galladay to where we're actually going here.
I thought we were going to what everyone wants to hear, which is
Well,
the best segment
you know
of the show.
what you know where we're
We're
getting.
talking about the best segment on the show.
So the back
He's letting me down.
All right,
He's
at the end
dropping
of the
ball.
day,
Yeah. So hit me with it.
has Perry traded Drew Brees yet?
Well, that's
Let
not
me
Galladay. Okay, sorry. Fuck. Okay, I'll play your game. I thought we were doing another one. Okay, this week has Perry traded Drew Brees.
This has got to get edited. The
He's
whole
already-
thing's got to be changed. You've ruined
The
everything.
whole program's
I
cost.
think Perry traded.
I think we
Drew
should just
Brees.
delete and start it again. No, he hasn't. He
He
has
didn't.
not traded Drew Brees. He hasn't. He never will.
Fuck it, let's dance, let's go.
That's this
Okay,
weekend.
okay, fuck it, I'll take over. Ladies and gentlemen, for 11 weeks now, we've been waiting for one man.
The fact that
no,
now,
shut
after
up!
11 weeks, you think that you can just all of a sudden take over is erroneous on all
Do
accounts.
you want to do it?
Take over? Are you like
no,
a leader?
it's
Yeah, that's a
It's his-
shut up.
it's his
Shut up.
segment.
Take over.
as the man who
Oh,
runs the podcast.
look at this.
Just you
Look at
shut
this.
up
I'm
too.
driving
Shut
a
up.
wedge between
When
the.
did you leave the green room?
Whatever you want to do, I don't give a fuck.
Don,
I have no hubris about this. Go ahead.
This is the worst.
this is
What the
our
hell?
third guest.
Or you
third
want-
guest of the evening. We'd like to welcome him in. He showed up
Oh,
for
it's
so for
bigger
all
than that.
for all of
It's
those
bigger than
for
that.
all of those at the start of the show.
You have one of. Okay, go ahead.
At the start of the show, we took bets. Would he or would he not show up?
I
And
said
here I
no.
am. Here I am.
We don't know who he is, but here he is. The commissioner
The commissioner
is in the house. The GM of Team Littlehands
Team of teams.
is here, and we're also graced. We're also graced with, of course, the GM of the Oakland Reindeers, Mr. Sullivan,
Yeah, I'm not going
and
anywhere.
Uncle Nick's here just to be here. Hey,
Yeah,
Nick?
we
Uncle
do
Nick.
have somebody who's just keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, I brought snacks.
He brought snacks.
Someone's got to load.
I didn't bring no goddamn snacks.
Angela can't work alone.
I don't even got no gabagool here. I don't see any gabagool. I was all excited for gabagool. I got nothing.
Nick,
Get
could
the
you
man
do me
some
a favor?
Fireball.
You think you can find some gabagool out there?
No,
To be
no.
perfectly honest, I have no idea what that is.
That's even better.
We'll
keep it where
We've had 3 guests. Only one showed up with a gift, so I think we only need to do
gift?
we only need to
You
do
guys talk shit about me for fucking how many weeks now, and I'm supposed to bring gifts?
We only need to do 4 shots, I believe. Then is that right?
It's 5 now. Uncle Nicky's here.
Give,
All right,
give
Mikey.
Give the
Let's
commish,
stay
give the
fo-
commish the half
Okay,
shot.
this is dead air. Mikey,
Yeah, come on, let's go.
go ahead. You're here. What do you want to talk about, Mike?
What do I want to talk about? The
Yeah, come
obvious
on.
elephant in the room is what I want to talk about.
What is
Bottoms
that?
up, and
All
we're
right,
getting
cheers,
into
cheers,
it.
cheers.
Cheers.
All the listeners were just drinking.
Wouldn't be a podcast without booze.
We don't want him to
They
drink.
even gave me the little shot.
Fits in
Shut
your hand-
up!
Fits in your hand so nicely.
Okay, what's your beef?
Before
Let's
we
go.
get into the drinks, I just need to ask.
No, let's let him go. He
Before
wants
we get
to
into
go.
the drinks, I just need to ask, do you have anybody playing tomorrow night?
Before we get
I just want to
into
make
the
sure his
drinks,
lineup's set.
we're getting hammered.
Can I not just make sure his lineup is set?
The lineup is set.
Okay, you have anybody
I'm
playing tomorrow
sorry
night?
I was blind drunk and made a trade and it fucked me up. Okay, anyways, let's put that aside. Where's the poll at? Where are we at with the poll?
70%.
lost.
Yes, you've lost.
Okay.
You lost bad,
Okay.
bad.
Now, can I say this? Can I say this?
talked
One
about
of the
this about
people,
45
one of the
minutes
people that voted yes, he should be punished was myself.
I didn't even vote yet.
I do believe
Throw me
I
out
do
there.
believe that I should be punished.
Well, that is very honorable of you because, yes, you should be punished.
Okay, now the rumor is that
You
there's
do
been-
have 2 no votes.
Who's that? I
Who
wonder.
voted no? Can we see?
Do we know who?
Or
We-
can only our fair commissioner?
Does it say who?
access that
We don't
information?
know,
know.
but we
We
do
never
have,
know.
We do have a majority of the owners have tuned into the
Well, I will
poll,
tell you that
and
one of those no votes is not me.
That's fine, but a majority of the owners have voted yes, so there will be a punishment. We put it out to the podcast listeners. They're going to decide. Your punishment will be fulfilled on Thursday.
Now, the one thing I will say is that I will not let the punishment affect my position in the playoffs.
Oh, God, no. No, it's not going to affect your fantasy team. It's
Okay.
probably like a dumb
What about
tattoo
the
or
person
something.
that
Yeah.
won?
Jesus
You're
Christ.
gonna have to fight
I'm actually
your
better
own.
with that.
The punishment is you're going to have to cook something without burning it.
But-
I think that's probably what it's going to
Just
But-
warm the chili with success.
But are we being honest with the situation? Is there not somebody who would not get a better place because
I don't
Mike
think so,
lost?
no.
Who is it? It's probably me.
It's so close that it's. I don't think it.
Sure, we're all close, but a 6 versus 7 win.
Well, I don't know. I agree. I should be punished. It should be a punishable
You agree
offense.
you should be punished.
It
It's
should
a-
be a
it's a
punishable
punishable
offense.
offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantasy.
Now it's-
Absolutely.
How do you
I've-
equate an inadequate punishment?
All I'm saying is that I will not let it affect my fantasy
And
season.
it won't. That's not the case. It's like someone's going to dump something on your head or something stupid.
Okay,
At the
so
end of the day, it was a bonehead move. You made a mistake.
Exactly.
And we're not.
I blame
We're not going to
Donald.
kill the whole league based on one mistake. You know. Like,
Did I
You-
get shushed?
yeah, because he was talking. You can't.
oh, I thought I got you.
We can all just keep talking, but the thing is, it's super awkward.
All right, we've had 2 other guests in here. We've asked them the hard-hitting questions. We're
No,
going to
I-
do the same thing with you. Where do you stand? How do you like your team? What do you need to do? Where do you think you're at?
I got shut up.
I'm tied at first place in the league, so I'm pretty good with my team right now. I put up another 100 points last week. I think that I've been making the right moves to get my team where it needs to go. I'm happy with my receivers. I got Jay Ajayi. I'm pretty excited about that to see what happens this week since he was on a bye last week. And I made the right quarterback move. I think I still stand by that trade, and this didn't work out for me last week. But
Tyrod is getting benched this week. Did you know that?
Tyrod is getting benched this week.
Yeah, my life is over. I have
Yeah,
no
Tyrod's
quarterback.
So
Why do you giggle?
Well, because it's funny to
I
me.
got 2 if you still want to make a trade.
we obviously here at the Whiskey Barrel Podcast ask the hard-hitting questions. Now you traded the number 1 running back for a quarterback when your quarterback just put up 90 points in the last 2 weeks. How do you feel about that, Mike?
My quarterback put up 90
Is that
points in the last.
real?
The one that's sitting on your bench.
Oh yeah,
You had a
that
perfectly
sucks.
good quarterback on your bench when you traded the
Yeah,
number
would
1
you
running
have guessed Jared Goff was going to do that in that
45
last 2
points.
weeks?
King Goffrey? You mean?
and then Tom Brady puts
I mean,
up
yeah, I
34.
got two solid quarterbacks right
Could
now.
I
If I
have
think that
Jared
Tom has a,
Goff
if
for
I
me?
think that Tom, very possibly, very possibly, we can talk about that. But if Tom Brady has a tough matchup one week, I haven't looked at his matchups the next few
The
weeks. But if he
worst
does,
matchup
I
was
have other
Denver,
opportunities.
and he did 30.
So
Sorry, I'm mad. I got fucking Tyrod Taylor.
Well,
and he's
let's
just
talk
been
about Tom
benched.
Brady. You want Tom Brady?
Why is he benched? Is he hurt?
Let's up the game.
Yeah,
No.
let's talk.
no, we're not talking about that. Fanoff, where are you weak at? Where do you need to improve? What do you
Sayers-
think?
Well,
Are you
obviously,
content? Are you content?
I need to improve at running back. I'm happy about Jay Ajayi. I'm excited about Jay Ajayi, but am I 100% confident? No. Duke Johnson Jr. Nah. Is anybody really excited about that?
Chris
Not
Hinton
not
is.
really. And that's really it. I mean, C.J. Anderson's pretty much. He's probably going to either sit on my bench or.
Now,
I
did
don't know
you
what's gonna
try to make a
happen there.
move on the waiver wire with 2 new starting running backs coming into play and not get the luck, or what was the move this week?
Well, I picked up Danny Woodhead, who's
Last
coming
week,
off
yeah.
IR.
Is he playing this week? We're not sure
Possibly.
yet. Yeah,
Possibly.
okay.
Possibly. So we'll see what happens there, and who knows, that could be a bad move. But I think I've made a lot of good waiver wire moves this year.
My question to you, though, I'm sorry, but there was 2 starting number 1 running backs come available on the waiver wire this week. Did you make a play for them?
No, I did not.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to ask. Because you're weak at running back depth, yet you didn't try to solve that via waiver wire. So
You have something to say, Don?
Tons.
Okay, go.
Okay, so 2 things. What were you gonna say?
no,
There's a
no,
lot
I'm
of
not,
deep breaths in the room
I'm
right
not
now.
saying anything.
With your
I'm just saying
fucking
like that.
half-ass bullshit.
I'm
over
just
there.
saying we've done it with every guest before.
We have
I
the
want to talk about his team, and then we'll go from there.
We have the commissioner.
I'm
in
sorry
the
your
room.
knees wet because you spilled your drink all over yourself, and now you
I
can't
did that
speak.
about.
Wow, there is tension in this room today.
We got hot. That's why we got the fan on.
This is fucking.
The fan's not off. It's on.
I think we can just play Snoop Dogg the rest of the podcast.
Do not
It'll be
turn
alright.
the fan off.
All right, Don, go for it, pal. We'll all
Okay,
sit back.
We have the commissioner here. Are you kidding me? This kind of introspective bullshit that you've just been plugging him with, that's killing me.
You gotta warm him up.
Well, what do you want to talk about, Don? I'll talk about anything.
I
Bring it
know
on.
you will.
Let's go.
I know you will.
Donna's a dry dock kind of guy. No foreplay. Just shove it in and
Shove
see
it
how
in.
it goes. It
I'm
might go
I'm
south.
okay
it might
with
go
that
great.
too. Ask
All right,
Skyla.
so you're happy with your team right now?
Jesus Christ.
What did you just say? What did you just say?
Shout out to the wife.
You say
I'm just
ask
kidding, Kyla. I love you.
She's not.
Oh,
She's
an
not
hour-
listening.
We're
There's
an
no way
hour
she's
40 in.
listening.
There's no way. Uncle Bob is, but she's not this far.
Oh, Uncle Bob, don't tell him.
All right.
Shout out
please.
Uncle Bob.
Kyla made it this far. I owe you a glass of wine.
All right, you silly goose. Okay, listen. So, number 1 is we had you on. We were really excited. We thought you were going to light us up like candlesticks. Like,
Well, you know what? That's still to come. There's still more to talk about.
well,
here.
we're an hour and 40 minutes on this podcast.
Okay, so let's
I'm,
move it along.
That's
Okay,
what I'm
I
trying
want to talk about why you guys talk so much shit about my fucking team. You guys talk
Please.
shit
'Cause your
about me
team
constantly.
sucks.
Why does my team suck?
Nick,
Where do I
does,
suck?
Nick, hold on. Nick, does Mike's team suck?
You know, the results aren't in, but I think once
I'm
we get
tied
to
for first in the
Gabagool's,
league.
I think the proteins will work their way into my brain, and I can result the fact that yes, in fact, Mike's team does suck.
Yeah, well, you've heard it from the judge, jury, and commissioner.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's hungry, but
Okay,
team
I
sucks.
guess my team sucks.
It could be the hunger.
I think I've made some of the better moves in the. In
I
the league this
agree.
year.
I'm just
Ah,
asking
you
the
got
question.
pretty lucky with Kareem Hunt there.
He
I
traded
traded
him.
for Kareem Hunt, and then I traded him.
I
Yeah.
tried so hard to get him from you. It just wasn't happening.
Not what were you gonna give me?
You
Oh,
know, Michael Thomas, Crabtree.
please go ahead,
A
Mike.
couple sets of hands there.
Okay.
Somebody's got to run
I
the
don't
ball.
need
Somebody's got to
receivers.
catch the
I don't
ball.
need receivers. Who's your running backs?
Right
Exactly.
now, yeah, Carlos Hyde.
Don't worry, he's got a couple new ones coming
Mikey,
his way. We
you
already
know what
made
I
our
would
time.
really
Javarius-
like?
Javarius Allen.
I wanna talk-
Marshawn Lynch.
Just hold on.
Yeah, we're
Saul,
getting
if
off the
you could
rails
shut
here.
up real quick. You know what I'd really like, considering that this podcast is going to go out to everybody? Mikey, if you could just lay into me and Sayers for 5 minutes.
It's been 10 weeks, and and all you've done is called in once and said how good we are.
What?
So,
I love you
Mikey,
guys, man.
Mikey.
I'm sorry.
Mikey,
You know me better than that. I'm not
Mikey,
a yeller.
please.
I'm not a fighter.
I'm
a runner.
asking. So if you could just say,
I mean, yeah, I think you guys are idiots.
just take 2 minutes. Take a minute and a half. Take 30 seconds.
Floor is yours.
Well, I mean,
Trash us, please.
there's a few things. You guys, I mean, you contradict
Go
yourselves constantly on this fucking thing. You say
Go ahead.
one thing's the thing that you should do, and then if someone doesn't do it, you say it was a stupid move, and and yeah, you think you run this thing, and every time I can't even make a move without you saying, "Oh, they did it because he was listening to my fucking podcast. He's listening."
Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
That's the answer we wanted to hear.
I mean, you guys trash my boy,
Go trash.
my boy Chris Hinton all the
Mike,
time, and
Fuck Hinton.
not. Whoa, careful.
Oh, sorry.
And he's got a wife and kids.
Someone's got people. Have
I
Where
personally,
Sully brings his wife
I
in.
personally think that
The
Chris
driver
Hitton
and the
being on this
associate.
podcast was one of the highlights of the season as far as this podcast
His photo
goes.
is still here.
I
in the
see it. I
Lightning
love it.
Studios.
I love it.
Some people bring gifts. Other
I
people
think
don't.
that he was the by far the most prepared guest that you've ever had. He came with his own segment.
Yeah, I
It was a
loved it.
little
And
lackluster.
the most I have ever
Hitman's
laughed
killed
on
it
this
on our side,
on
yes.
this podcast is that episode. The most I've ever laughed. That was a great episode. Anyway,
And he came in strong, and we were here to just go.
I mean, that
"You're
being
the
said,
best."
he's a piece of shit.
Sometimes
Yeah,
a
always
current
is.
bear and a legendary bear have the same name, and it's awkward. And
Yeah, but it
Sayers
wasn't the
is right,
answer he
and
was
Hinton
looking
is
for.
right.
He was not
I
the
know,
answer he
yeah,
was
it's
looking
like
for.
being the closest without going over. You know, you, just,
So
you
end
still
of
feel like a winner.
end of
So
the
what
day.
up? That's it?
Long story short is you love the podcast. You
That's
think-
where you want to stop.
you take
I
your
think
advice
that-
to heart. And
No, I did not say that.
that's what I heard.
No, well, that's
Where
not what
you
I
at?
said.
Where you at?
I think my team is fine, and you guys trash my team. I think my
That's
team's
it?
better than yours. I think my team's better than yours.
Ah,
You want to know where my
that's not
team's
true.
at? I think my
it
team's
always
better than
has
both your
been,
teams.
though?
All right, found enough. Here
Yeah.
it is. Mikey, I'll put a
respect
board
that.
bet right now. $20
Stands by
I last longer than you do in the playoffs.
Okay.
It's on
Done.
the board. That's a manly.
Put it
on
forward.
the board.
Been witnessed.
Hey, Mikey. Are we still recording here?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Great. Hey, Mikey, I'll give you $20 to just rip me and Sayers apart.
I don't want to rip you apart. I've said what I want to say. I'm
I
sorry.
just
I don't
want
drop it like it's hot with
I
you.
just want you to rip Sayers apart because he's got a big stupid hat on, and I've got a big stupid head.
Mikey's asked me for this hat on numerous occasions.
I do want that hat.
It's a good hat. He could definitely get you one, too.
So that's
I
it.
know. He just won't give me one.
Just
He's got like
insult him.
11 in his
And
house.
then insult me. I'll give you $20.
No, I love you guys.
You're
Yeah,
such
he
a
just
I
doesn't
just
know.
like getting angry now.
So
Yeah,
we're, Mikey,
you're working like a reverse counter roll here. It's nice.
fan
Very
of
more angry than I've seen.
We've
I didn't
played
think it
this
was
game.
I
possible.
need to feed off of you. I can't just sit here and talk. We need to have a conversation.
Okay,
You wanna get me
then
fired
what's
up.
the final? What are we talking about tonight?
This is what we've talked about with every guest, and we're going to talk about it with you.
Yeah,
Here's
just
the
a little bit
playoff
nice
bracket
segment.
as it stands. We're 3 weeks out.
Okay.
Team the Prius, 86 Ron Rigo. Team Littlehands, King and his men. Batman's Chalupas, Colt Strong.
Oh, I want to talk about
Uh,
Kurt too.
Oakland Reindeers, and Team Bounty Hunters. There's your top 8.
What do you want to talk about with
Who's not going to make the playoffs?
What do you want to talk about?
Or is that
with
the final 8?
Can I see the consolation bracket? real quick?
Consolation
Yeah, look at the
bracket right
numbers,
now,
dude.
we're
It's
sitting
surprising.
on the French, Big Daddy, Danimal, and Galladay in.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Leave it down there for a sec. Let's see here. Down to the bottom. Down to the consolation. Okay. So, Galladay Inn's not going to make
We
it.
don't have a consensus yet. We've got two
Danimal probably not going to make it. Big Daddy just seems like he's given up. He's given up.
Yeah.
To me, Brad's just given up.
Ever
He's
since-
playing for
And
next
we
year.
can't find him.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
can't find
Yeah.
him.
He's gone
He'll be there
AWOL.
at Thanksgiving.
He's gone
He'll be there at
AWOL.
Thanksgiving.
I know, but what are you doing? Where's he been?
I don't
You've
know.
got Mark
He's
Ingram.
got people
How
on
have
his
you
bench
not-
that he like.
How
I
have
don't-
you
I don't
not
know. He's got no
traded?
bench whatsoever. I don't know. It seems like he's given
He
up.
made borderline the trade of the year when he traded Zeke for Ingram and Thompson.
Yeah.
Two
could've
top
been-
10
could've-
running
could've
backs
been good.
for a guy who's out for the
So
next
why
6 years.
doesn't he do like,
Something.
He's got Ingram. So,
So
why
is-
doesn't he
is
do
Zeke
Ingram?
out?
And Paul's
Is
team
that
isn't good. These are
Yeah,
not
yeah.
good teams.
Yeah.
I can't.
He's done right now.
I'll be
For
surprised
for
if
the
any
year.
of these
For the
4
year.
teams sneak
Shit.
in.
Yeah.
Now let's see
No
who
more
else we
playoffs.
got.
Playoffs, yes,
Hey.
but that's professional.
Corey's
Doesn't
gonna
matter
be
to
there. Let's see.
Is any of those top 8? Is that the top 8? Just
Bounty
that's what we wanna
Hunters
hear.
for sure.
We just want to hear yes or no.
Probably.
You want to knock me out, don't you, man?
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm the weak link there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. If there was one team in there that I thought might slip out of it, it's gonna
But
be.
who's taking
it's
my
gonna be
spot?
you. I don't know. That's a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
I said the same.
You have to make a call. We ask the tough questions. We want tough
If I had to
answers.
guess, this is your top 8
Okay, there it is. That makes the decision made.
because those
it's
bottom
two-
4.
It's 2-1. We had one swap out and one left in. And
Bounty
this
Hunters is
good.
definitely going to make it in. I think his team is good enough to make it in for sure. I think that Kurt will
Been in
make
the
it in.
hundreds consistently.
I think that Donald will make it in, and the top 4 will make it in.
Kurt's about to have a kid though. His whole life's gonna change. Everything's
Now
going
you've got
south.
issues with Kurt.
Yeah, I got a couple issues with Kurt.
Well, let's hear what they are.
I got some after. What was the trade? What was the big trade? What was that?
The big trade in question was Todd Gurley for Julio Jones and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
McCaffrey
and Kurt had some pretty strong
was
words to say.
mad.
Yeah,
Kurt got mad at me, told me that he was gonna punch me.
like is reading the
And
text too much right now?
Kurt
is
told
it
me
too
that it
much?
was
No, we
I
go
think
deep.
that's-
We asked.
Okay, let me
We're
just
an
bring it
hour
up,
47 in. If people have listened this far, they're gonna listen to the end.
Because I gotta tell you, it was a little daunting. Like I was
As
like,
long as it's not like racist or like
No,
severely-
it's not.
Yeah, then you're good. Read it.
let's just bring it up here. What the hell?
We don't want to get the gentleman
We've gone this far,
demonetized for
right?
running this
How do
podcast.
I
They're
don't
making
care.
all
Here we
kinds
go.
of
Okay,
money.
so he said, "You're on."
Mind you, this is when you
And Kurt, I love you. You know I love you.
and pre forgetting to set your own lineup. So
Yeah, this is pre me forgetting to set up my lineup.
so
Absolutely.
here it is. The trade was
Okay.
Julio Jones and Christian McCaffrey for Todd Gurley.
Which I immediately reviewed and accepted.
I thought it
and
was a good
pushed
trade.
it through.
Nice trade.
I was like, "That's a fine trade." I
Yeah.
had no issues with it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anyone yet that did have an issue with it.
One
Something
issue.
just broke in the
One
computer.
person had an
Just
issue
saying.
with it.
Yeah.
One person sent me a text saying, "You're on drugs on upholding these trades. Gurley for McCaffrey, this is a joke. Basically, this is the most corrupt league ever." Wow!
Ed Kang sent you that text?
And then the next one says, "Fuck off." And then the next one says, 18th running back and Julio, not even on the charts for a number 2 back.
For a 2-back. Yeah,
For-
number
yeah.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about
And how does that trade look now? Because McCaffrey's getting
Yeah.
a lot of targets. Julio's coming back.
I think it looks fine.
Well, it's a hell of a comment, right? That to uphold Donovan's
To
argument.
call it
for-
the most corrupt
Yeah.
league
little
ever.
Little,
I mean,
Wow.
he knows
Wow.
he knows we don't have the best commissioner out there.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
a commissioner who's tried to give away his duties.
Yeah,
in the
many
previous-
times because I take so much shit from you idiots.
Well, sometimes there's stand-up guys out there. Sometimes there aren't.
I consider myself a pretty stand-up guy.
Well, to go back to what Donovan was saying.
And
in the
how long has
past-
this league been running? How long have I been running this league
Oh,
now?
we're going back to Ed, eh?
You still burnt the chili. That's
Yeah.
all that.
Oh my god.
You had to go get ice, though. I was with you that day. It was
Mhm.
tough. Shit happens.
Could have turned it to low.
But anyways, as I was saying, trying to talk about Donovan there and his little things with names. Talking about names and how like you might attach a value to a player's name.
Yeah.
I just think it's the opposite here. I think
Sure.
you're almost afraid to attach a value because of the name.
Well-
as we were talking about earlier with the Larry Fitzgerald thing. Maybe he thinks, based on times past, he's not going to do.
But isn't Fitzgerald?
what he
I was talking.
wanted.
Listen to last week. you
Fitzgerald's
guys were
having a legendary season.
And that's a name.
It's because he's not on my team.
He's number 5 right now.
Yeah.
He's number 5.
And he's a name though. Like,
If he's
you
on
can't
my
consider
team,
that not a
he
name.
has an off year. He gets to be closer to 40, and he's playing better football than he ever has. But it's one of those things. I think we're all a little gun shy based on a player's name. Either way, positive or negative, it just makes
Yeah.
it hard. You don't want to drop a guy who was a number 2 last year.
Well, like I'm
You
having,
just-
a,
you
I
just
mean,
can't
but
see
that
yourself
being said,
doing
I
that.
understand the name thing because like I'm having a hard time dropping a guy like C.J. Anderson.
I was this close to dropping Amari
He's
Cooper.
still
my
in the-
number
it's
one
hard-
pick.
it's-
I almost
He's
just
not a
sent
drop,
him on
though.
the waivers.
It's hard to drop a number 1 running back, so that's hard.
No, you can't. He's still getting
Yeah,
touches.
no, I know.
He's
I know,
not being
I know.
successful, but he's running it 20 times plus.
God, they're bad.
What do you do?
Now I want to ask you, as the
You're
commissioner,
not bad for
Yep.
making that
looking
call.
to next year
Yep.
on some issues where we stand.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I'd love to talk about that. That's a great idea.
So right now we're on a 2-year keeper league. I think we tried to vote to a 1-year and that got denied.
It was
I think
You know
it
where
was-
I
it
stand,
was a
right?
split vote.
I
think-
stand that we should just get rid of keepers.
I think the vote
altogether.
next year is to get rid of keepers. Now,
Yeah.
I don't think we can get there right away, but I think we need to push through a 1-year keeper
One
and
keeper.
then no keepers.
Maybe 1 instead of 2.
I say we let the keepers stand for the following year, and then we abolish keepers.
I think that's where
Would
we
that
should
Because
be
a guy like Brad is gonna have a problem if we abolish keepers.
Yeah.
right
Sure.
now.
A guy like me has no problem with it.
Sure.
I don't want to keep.
Now I
don't
say
wanna
we
keep
do one more
Crabtree.
year of keepers, and then where are we at? Should I run this more as a dictatorship, or
Mike,
should
yes.
I just?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Because I might just take that route,
Can I
and
ask
I
you-
don't think that there's anyone in this league that if I start doing that is gonna go, I'm out. Is there
And if-
anyone in this league
And if
that
they
would
are,
just,
what do we have? 10 people lined up that want to come in?
That's not what I'm saying. I like the group of guys that we have. I don't want
Gentlemen,
anyone
do
to
you,
leave.
Do you mind
but-
if I ask Mike a question real quick?
No, go for it. So,
Would
speak
you,
up.
Would you like to be the commissioner next year?
I-
Do you want to do this
Of
again?
course I do. When I offer it up, it's out of anger and it's out of I love this league
When
more
you
than anyone.
slough it off.
Schluff.
I don't want to
I'm
slough it up.
going to give
I
him the
want
benefit of the doubt here.
Okay,
Lewis. I
sorry,
want to
sure.
know
My
if
bad.
he
This
wants
is my
to
baby.
do this again.
This league's
It's
my
been
baby.
8 long years, Mike.
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
know.
It's not a one-time thing anymore.
It's 8 years of
You're
my
still
blood, sweat,
loving
and tears.
this, though. You're still enjoying it just as
Great
much
question.
as day one.
Great question.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's what
I
I like
love
to
this
hear.
league.
And that is
I'm in
why-
7 leagues this year, and I would happily drop all 6 other leagues.
As a commissioner or as a general manager in this league, I have many opinions, but that is what I want to hear out of my my commissioner.
Yeah, this
That
is
is
my baby. This
I
league's
know
my baby.
every day isn't going to be gold, and the sun isn't always going to come up. It's going to rain. But just to hear that you want to do it again next year, even after all this talk and all these guns being pointed at you through this podcast,
absolutely.
I'm
Thanks,
happy
buddy.
to know that you still want
Cheers.
to do it.
Cheers,
You know, and
Sal.
that matters more than you doing a good job.
And
is the fact that you want to be doing this.
Absolutely.
You're not just forced into it.
And
You're
I
not
do.
keeping the
I love
league
it.
alive for
I love this
us.
league. No,
you
God,
want
no.
to be doing
I
this.
barely
and I
even like
respect
you
the shit
turkeys.
out of that.
What?
Nothing.
You actually want to be here?
You've had the opportunity for 10 weeks. Now that being said, so
Mike usually has
this is where
12
we
listeners.
stand.
It's the
This is
people
where
in
we
the league.
stand. Next year we'll probably do keepers for the last year, and then we're gonna abolish it.
Yeah.
So plan
That's
ahead.
probably
to a
what's
vote.
going to happen.
It goes to a
what
vote.
other things? What other things? Is there
Okay.
anything else? Let's talk about kickers.
Yeah,
It's
we're getting rid of
4-12
kickers.
here.
I think
Kickers
it's-
are gone. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna. So
You're
everybody
just gonna
knows,
do it.
kickers
No
are
way.
gone.
No way.
Sorry, Corey Nightingale.
I got Greg
Kickers
DeLay.
are gone.
Did you message
I don't know about
Corey
that.
Nightingale about that?
No, we're not talking about
Kickers are gone.
I made this apparent to Mr. Sayers the other day. The kicker, who's at the helm of my team at the moment, has scored, and I'm probably going to go out on a limb here and say that will continue to score more points than LaShawn
Okay.
McCoy.
Okay. So did you put a lot of research and put a lot of?
Not even a little bit.
No,
That's
none.
my boy.
It's just a roll of the dice. Completely.
Is there anything wrong with that?
A little bit. Yeah.
You want to take that?
I think
kinda-
if it's a position that you're putting on your team, it should be something that you
I
put a
think
little
it's the
thought
exact
into.
same as, say, a player like
can I do?
LaShawn McCoy
No.
having an off year.
No.
Not even saying that he is, potentially. And then a guy like Kareem Hunt coming into the league and just demolishing.
Did you draft Greg Zuerlein?
I did not.
Exactly. No.
Legatron.
But did the Prius draft the Seahawks defense?
They usually try to.
Like, very early.
Yeah.
And you seem to be reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah, but
Because
defenses, I
you
stand
drop-
by
you
that
drop
you have
them-
to put thought into defenses.
You drop them on a bye week and then you pick them up. It's bullshit. Anything that you're gonna drop and pick up is fine. Okay, next question to you, Mike. Right now we're on a quarter point PPR and full point reception or full point for 10 yards. Where do you stand on dropping the quarter point and ordering like 0.1 points
for
per
every
yard?
yard. Yeah, I stand strongly with that. I think that will be pushed through next year.
I think
as well.
that resolves the ties.
The ties, yeah.
And I think you should be rewarded for getting 99 yards and getting
100%.
9.9 points.
Agreed.
That can make a big difference. So,
Agreed.
okay.
That will be changed next year as well.
We're changing the quarter point PPR.
Can I just put one other announcement since I haven't sent an email out to the league? Thanksgiving is on at my house.
You sent one out already.
The
I
tradition
sent an email out?
You sent an activity.
Probably the
that's
same
on there.
night I made that trade.
Dono also invited all of our 200 listeners. So
No, whoa! Hold on a second.
The address was put out last week on the podcast. If you're an avid
Hold
listener,
on
you
a
can-
second. This goes out to Coquitlam Fantasy League people only.
yeah, it's always standard.
So
Unless you give me a call and maybe we can work
So
something
we
out.
have 100
Yeah.
people that are going, yeah, we're coming.
People I don't
We
even
told
know.
them you're renting an inflatable big screen. You're gonna do it in the backyard.
It's
so.
practically a mansion. I mean, this is a hell of a league, and he's the commissioner, so we don't need to worry. There's room for everyone.
Sorry, we were recording?
All right. Well, that's where. That's
shit.
kind of where we stand now. So next week,
Are we actually recording like
yeah,
right
yeah,
now?
yeah.
Holy fuck.
You're trying to evacuate the studio.
Dawn's gone sideways, but that's okay.
Yeah,
All right,
wow.
what do you
Next
want to talk
next week is our super episode.
Yes.
We're gonna be broadcasting live from. Unfortunately, the Wendy Law Studios is under renovations next week,
The green room has to grow.
but
but we're opening up Kyla Fana.
yeah, it's Kyle Fanov
We've
Studios.
looked at Kyle Fanoff. We've gotten back and forth.
Kyle Fanov isn't happy about it.
She's
She's
not
getting
happy.
open wide. She's getting
It's
open
an
wide, and we're
inbox
broadcasting
and a
deep.
studio rolled into one. So
Nothing's been smooth. Nothing's been happy, but unfortunately, you know what? Kyla's up there. It's just those studios are open, aggressive.
Anyway, so next week we're going to do a super episode on Thanksgiving Thursday. We're entitling all GMs to bonus 10
All
minutes of
GMs?
coverage.
10
You're allowed
minutes?
to come in. Yeah, because there's 11 or 10
That's
other
not bad.
GMs.
I like it. I
Yeah,
like
we'll
it.
give you all 10 minutes. Come in, say your piece. If you don't want it, you're soft.
That's an hour and a half.
And that's where we're at. So we're going to end.
Shut up for a second. Listen, if you don't like the podcast, that's your problem. If you do like the podcast, that's great. We're going to, next week, include every single person that we fucking can. For at least 5...
Anybody.
For 5 to 10 minutes.
Kang?
Ed Kang.
I've got
for
people in the
example.
River
Open
Springs league
invitation,
that want
Ed
to-
Yeah, everybody's excited.
Everybody.
Come
Okay.
back.
Everybody,
plead
it
your
doesn't
case
matter.
live.
We can do a 2-hour bit. It's not a big deal.
So River Springs, here we go.
Just bring something
So
up.
if you're-
So you come prepared.
If you're listening to this and you plan on going to Mike Faniff's house, don't worry about it. That's
Jamie,
great.
Jason.
Shut up.
The commissioner.
If you plan on coming to meet us at Mike's place, that's awesome. We can't wait to see you. But guess what? Put some of your brain into, let's figure this out. Let's play some games. Let's talk about this. You ready for that? Because I'm ready for it. Because I'm going to interview you. We're going to talk some shit. Boom, boom, boom.
All right, Mike, final thoughts as our last guest. We'll give you 30 seconds. Thanks for coming on, of course. And
Mike,
Thanks for
where
having
are
me,
you at?
boys.
Say something.
I know you want me to get angry.
No. Just
No,
final
I'm
thoughts.
just happy
Where
to
do we
have
Final
stand?
thoughts.
We're
I
happy
was-
with the
I'm-
growth of the league. Everyone's
I'm
competitive.
very happy to be back. I mean, to be on the podcast. Sorry. Love being here, and keep up the good work, boys. I'm really excited for Thanksgiving. It's gonna be another great night at Kyle Faniff Studios, and yeah,
We're
I'm
gonna
excited.
make it happen. Thanks for listening to the Coquitlam Whiskey Barrel podcast. We'll catch you next week with the Super Thanksgiving episode.
Thank you for Sully for involving himself.
Thanks to Sully for coming in. Thanks to Brad Friend. Thanks to Mike Faniff. Thanks to Nick for his huge input. And thanks to the Wendy Law Studios. And we're out for the week.
Woo!